Stick with me here, I just wanted to study, but my system dropped an epic bombshell. See that rich girl sitting in the front row? Her dad is having a secret affair and the partner is not even a woman. But I had zero clue that my whole class could actually hear my inner voice out loud. Every single student bugged their eyes out, their faces looking absolutely and completely shocked. What the heck is going on here? Is not Serafina's dad famous for being the perfect husband? My parents say so too. Hearing this praise, Serafina sat up straight in the front row and lifted her chin with intense pride. Her dad clearly loves her mom deeply, but the system voice felt exactly like a freezing bucket of ice water suddenly dumped over her head. People always know exactly how to fake things. You are certainly not that guy. How could you ever know his real personality? Even his very own daughter might not actually understand the completely true face of her precious father. Serafina squeezed her fingers tightly with deep anxiety. Her wide eyes clearly showed massive distrust. Hurry up and spill the juicy drama, I urged impatiently. But the tricky system decided to act super mysterious. Finish this whole page of math homework to unlock the next juicy chapter. Oh, come on! The entire class angrily yelled out together. I froze up completely. You and I are wondering the exact same thing right now. Why is everybody suddenly standing up? Well, should I stand up? I quietly got up, trying my best to smoothly blend into this bizarre and totally random group action. Once I stood up, I instantly felt several intense eyes staring right at me. I awkwardly rubbed my nose. What is wrong, guys? Did they notice I did not stand up right away? Everyone quickly turned their heads back to the front. Right as they were getting ready to sit, an angry teacher thundered out like a massive storm. Why are you all sitting down? Since you love standing up so much, then stand up for the rest of this whole class period. Our teacher was already furious because our whole class skipped school recently. For these past few days, this classroom had been acting extremely quiet and peaceful. She assumed we had finally decided to act like obedient little angels. Who would ever expect this crazy nonsense? I felt completely miserable inside. Why must I stand if I knew earlier I would never have blindly copied everyone else and stood up so fast? It is one thing for everyone else, but why did the super calm and cool class rep Caspian stand up too? Caspian proudly pushed his golden glasses up his nose, looking exactly like a totally upright and completely righteous perfect gentleman. The other students secretly grumbled with massive dissatisfaction in their hearts. This is entirely because of your blasted and totally cursed system causing huge chaos. Without that, would we have ended up in such a tragic, miserable state? The absolute most impatient person was definitely Serafina. She fully understood the sneaky hint that this wild affair might actually be real. Yet she held on to a tiny piece of hope, desperately wanting to hear the rest, just to see if this was one huge, confusing misunderstanding. Now she must patiently wait for me to finish a complete page of math homework. Only then will the crazy gossip continue. And she clearly remembers that me doing just one math problem makes the system absolutely explode with pure total frustration. Plus, I am notoriously famous around here for being a total lazy slacker. Serafina nervously bit her nails, feeling her future turn dark. Right at that very second, the annoying system voice finally echoed deep in my mind. Are you feeling bored? Then let us do homework together. Finish it and you will hear the super spicy sequel. I puffed my cheeks out and shook my head, my face showing pure, absolute unwillingness. Admit it, you and I both want the next part. The partner is not a woman. Are we not incredibly desperate to know who it is? Darn it, I am officially getting hooked. I grabbed my pen and started solving problems. The system actually had zero issues teaching me the steps. But why is this math question so insanely hard? Can I simply skip it? I looked completely pitifully up at my demanding system. If anybody else saw this sad face, it would easily melt their hearts. However, the cursed system stayed freezing cold and completely heartless. No, I had absolutely no choice but to miserably bow my head and study math. The class bell rang loudly and I did not even notice it. The entire room was laser-focused on me. Nobody even realized that period was over. Other students walked past class 13 and were totally shocked to see our entire room standing on our feet. Even though the period ended, nobody moved a single muscle. This was entirely unlike the noisy class 13 in their memories. Normally, when the bell chimes, wouldn't they sprint out like escaping prisoners, or simply fall completely fast asleep right on top of their desks? Since when did they wait so neatly and quietly inside the room like this, standing completely straight up no less? Is 11th grade class 13 possessed by real ghosts? Why is math so insanely difficult? Can we please swap to a completely different subject? How about I just sing a poem for you? I looked at the system with grievance begging for compassion. So what do you and I take from this? Systems are evil. It checked my notebook. Very good. All right, stick with me here. 2 full hours to solve one problem. Learning needs encouragement. The system thought I should not scold him and ruin his interest. You did well. You finished 2 whole problems. Take a quick break. I stared at it completely mind-blown. Are you actually serious? Is this really the same cursed blasted system? Why is it acting so gentle? Did it catch a virus? The blasted system maintained its golden rule. Never hurt a child's fragile pride. Its voice was incredibly soft, literally like coaxing a little toddler. That is right. You did amazing. Take a rest. We will resume in 15 minutes. After all, Master finally put in the hard work to study so seriously. I cannot treat him like a working donkey. Otherwise, if Master throws a massive tantrum and completely ignores me, what would I even do? I slammed my head onto the desk. My entire body felt gloriously liberated, so incredibly comfortable. As expected, math is the absolute root of all evil. Escaping it feels like my entire body just revived from the deepest abyss. Hearing those inner thoughts, all of Class 13 desperately held back their laughter until their faces turned bright tomato red. But nobody dared to laugh out loud. They were terrified I would accuse them of having a massive collective meltdown. Right then, Serafina was absolutely in no mood for jokes. She felt as incredibly anxious as an ant on a boiling hot frying pan. Waiting forever and afternoon still had not arrived. I turned and saw her slumped over looking exactly like a super pitiful, sad little puppy. Absolutely tragic and so miserable. After listening to my inner monologues, now pay close attention here. Knowing math was driving me insane. Serafina gritted her teeth. Desperate to hear the next drama part, she quickly copied an answer sheet and stealthily slid it right onto my desk. Feeling a light tap, I looked up to see Serafina staring at me super shyly. I thought it was really weird. Why was she giving me those exact puppy eyes? Then I suddenly noticed an extra piece of paper sitting on my desk. I quickly picked it up. My eyes instantly blew wide open, staring at Serafina with overwhelming teary gratitude. The rich miss is truly a wonderful person. Why did I never realize how absolutely amazing Serafina is? She literally copied the math answers for me. She saw math bullying me and came to save my life. She truly is a little angel, an absolute fairy. She is just too good. I love her so much. Serafina's cheeks flushed slightly pink, feeling secretly embarrassed inside her heart. She only passed the answers because she desperately wanted to hear the next chapter. Yet here I am praising her openly, declaring my love. I really am way too cute, she thought. Rowena just helplessly stared at me. Just a simple good person label. How many good people can my heart possibly hold? Honestly, who knows? The class rep. Caspian pushed up his gold-rimmed glasses, a meaningful and completely cryptic smile blooming on his lips. Meanwhile, I teared up staring at the answer sheet like reuniting with a long-lost relative after 7 years. Just as I was preparing to bury my head and start copying like absolute crazy, the cursed system suddenly blared a massive warning alarm. Warning, warning. Master is strictly prohibited from copying answers. I only took one tiny peek. The system gripped the answer sheet even tighter. I will just keep writing. Fine, if I cannot copy, I will not copy, otherwise I would lose major face right. The cursed system saw me acting disobedient and detected my intentional attempt to copy answers, immediately initiating alternative measures. I totally ignored it and kept writing. You and I both know something crazy is coming. Class 13 watched, secretly desperate to see what trick this blasted system would pull next. In the very next second, the paper in my hands completely spontaneously combusted. I jumped straight up in absolute pure terror and screamed my lungs out. Rowena and the school beauty immediately lunged straight forward. I looked up and saw them along with all the other classmates who had suddenly stood up too. I instantly forgot my fear of the burning paper and just stared blankly. What are you guys doing? Did something else happen that I do not know about? Why in the world did everybody stand up again? All of Class 13 sat back down in total unison. I scratched my head in confusion. I felt they were acting a bit weird today. What in the world is actually going on? We want to know the drama so badly. The entire class screamed internally. Even if you do not want to know, we are not going to tell you anyway. We are acting completely weird purely because of you. I just sat down when I saw the blasted system jumping up and down in pure anger. What is your actual problem? Why did you burn my stuff? The system roared. Copying answers is strictly forbidden. I crossed my arms in total rebellion. You never said I could not copy, but now you are saying it. Absolutely no copying. You must do it yourself. You can ask someone to teach you, but zero copying allowed. Do you finally understand me? I rubbed my ears. Okay, I get it. You do not have to act so incredibly fierce. The cursed system glared at me, thinking to itself, this master is a real pain to teach. But since we are permanently bound together, I must take responsibility to the very end. So what do you and I make of this? Even with my pig brain, it won't abandon me. The system then checked the clock. Let's dive into this wild story. Time is up, start right now. I blinked my puppy eyes, looking totally pitiful. Can I get a little more time? 15 extra minutes? Even 5 is fine. Just let me catch my breath. I have been doing exercises all day long today. I have not even had time to catch my breath. Even farm donkeys do not get worked this insanely hard. Hearing my silent inner rant, Class 13 collectively shot me looks of deep sympathy. Serafina turned to look at me. Her eyes welled up, looking absolutely heartbroken and unable to bear it. But wanting to see what happens next, Serafina quickly turned her head back to watch. The cursed system remained completely stone cold. It coldly snapped, you call this working hard? You came in this morning just to zone out until noon. I literally had to use food to bribe you. And only then did you sluggishly finish one task in 3 hours. The first hour was purely you whining and complaining. You barely managed 2 math problems. I gave you 15 minutes of rest, and you instantly started trying to copy answers. You call that doing exercises all day? My face flushed bright red. Stop talking, I will do it right now. Okay. The system played a tutorial video and shouted, hurry up. I gripped my pen, staring intensely, looking completely weak, helpless, and pitiful. My brain was spinning in dizzying circles. You need to explain this to me. This video makes my head buzz like a beehive. The system suddenly remembered the last time it tried to teach me math. It almost crashed from pure sheer rage. Its digital head throbbed. How about you study it yourself? I am super busy right now. I pouted my lips. You are giving up on me. The system hurriedly waved its hands around. No, I actually have something to do. It looked around the room and its gaze finally landed on Isolde. Go ask her, she is secretly a hidden academic genius. She will definitely teach you well. I furrowed my brows. If I recall correctly, is Isolde not notoriously awful at studying? Her grades are literally exactly on par with mine. Class 13 was completely stunned. Isolde and hidden academic genius. How do those two wild terms even belong in the exact same sentence? Isolde casually flipped her hair, pretending she heard absolutely nothing, lowered her head, and went right back to reading her comic book. Seeing her act like this, everyone felt it was totally normal. What academic genius? That phrase has absolutely zero relation to her. Watch closely now, because the cursed system never lies. The entire class wore faces bursting with pure curiosity, eagerly waiting for me to keep asking more questions. I anxiously pushed the issue. What is going on here? Tell me right now. The cursed system originally planned to make me solve one more math problem before finally spilling the beans. But on second thought, kids need proper rewards when studying to encourage working harder. So it decided to leak a juicy little spoiler. Isolde is indeed an academic genius. I was completely dumbfounded. Then why on earth are her grades such garbage? Every single exam she scores even lower than me. I am at the bottom looking up, and she is literally the anchor holding last place down. I have always wondered why the throne of dead last belongs to Isolde and not Rowena, the ultimate class troublemaker. Rowena fights every single day. She sleeps through class, while Isolde and I at least pretend to listen to the lectures. Yet somehow Isolde scores worse than the girl who never even glances at a single book. Whenever I look at the scoreboard, my mood is indescribably terrible. Luckily, I always had Isolde securing the absolute bottom. But wait a minute. If Isolde is truly a hidden genius, does that not mean I am the actual factual dead last idiot? You and I saw that coming. The system gave me a deeply meaningful look. Why else did I choose you? Since I had to pick a terrible student, why skip dead last and pick the second to last? Instead, I completely stammered, lost for words. I thought you picked me because I am handsome, because you recognized my brilliant natural intellect. The system showed absolute zero mercy. Brilliant natural intellect, yet you ranked second to last, and now massive congratulations, you are officially in dead last place. I felt so wronged, I pouted. Do not make personal attacks like that. Seeing me like this, Isolde let out a very helpless sigh. Even though I was a bit sad, I was super quickly distracted by Isolde and her big secret. So why is Isolde pretending to be a bad student? The cursed system suddenly asked. Do you seriously remember absolutely nothing about Isolde? I scratched my head. Is she not just a classmate? You really forgot I got annoyed. Stop talking in weird riddles, can you? If I actually knew, why would I be asking you? Isolde looked a little bit tense, just nervously twiddling her fingers. The eyes of entire class 13 were glued to her, overflowing with pure gossipy anticipation. What is the tea here? The system finally spoke. Do you remember having a very close best friend when you were little, and then she went abroad? I silently pondered for a moment. In my mind, a timid, youthful face surfaced. I remember now that little girl who blushed super easily and got bullied a lot. She could not fight back. I benevolently saved her. And trust me, we are just getting started. Let's jump right in. Ever since that day, this little girl stuck to me like glue nonstop. Every single afternoon, she brought endless snacks just to find me. Staring at that absolute mountain of tasty food, I naturally decided to make her my loyal sidekick. Her sidekick mission was supplying the snacks. My very important job was providing absolute boss-level playground protection. This legendary playground deal was absolutely flawless, unmatched in history. Back then, I was truly living the dream. Every single day, my pockets were totally stuffed with every flavor imaginable. It is just a huge pity that later on the sweet girl randomly moved away overseas. I felt super bummed out for a while, not just losing a buddy, but tragically losing my amazing infinite snack supply chain. Growing up, my parents were insanely strict. I was basically never allowed to even look at delicious junk food like that. That sweet girl showing up was like a bright ray of sunshine, totally lighting up my super boring childhood. I always regretted never seeing her again. I think her name was Shia Shah. Ring any bells? I stared at Isolde in complete disbelief, but she just kept that icy, emotionless poker face. My heart sank. Are you absolutely sure? She looks nothing like Shia Little. Shia blushed super easily. She was totally soft, squishy, and sweet, just like an adorable little bouncing snowball. She was unbearably cute. I stared right at Isolde again. I honestly felt this freezing academic genius had absolutely zero connection to that adorable little girl living inside my memories. Now watch this part closely. The entire class. 13 stared completely dumbfounded at Isolde. The famous school beauty who is normally freezing cold was actually incredibly adorable as a kid and even had the absolute sweetest little nickname ever. The group chat instantly exploded. The name Shia Shah completely flooded every screen. Isolde noticed all her classmates gossiping wildly and unhappily slammed her phone onto the desk. Her deskmate playfully called out the name Shia. She immediately shot back an absolutely freezing, terrifying glare. That deskmate immediately and obediently zipped their mouth completely shut. Meanwhile, the whole class eagerly perked up, totally desperate to hear the rest of this incredibly juicy school beauty gossip. Right then, the system's voice confirmed the crazy truth. Even if I refused to believe it, I absolutely had to. That timid little girl from my past had truly grown up, morphing into a total walking glacier. I peeked at Isolde's gorgeous but totally expressionless face. She quickly caught my stare and nervously started twiddling her fingers again. Once she saw me look away, she sadly lowered her head. That tiny, emotional micro-expression went completely unnoticed by everyone else around us. But Rowena saw it clear as day. She just thought Isolde acting like this was honestly super weird. She shot me a quick glance, turned around, and immediately collapsed onto her desk to sleep. She truly could not care less about Isolde's drama. So what does this have to do with her faking bad grades? I suspiciously glared right at that blasted system. It was staring directly back at me. What are you looking at? Is there something on my face? I quickly pulled out a mirror to check, still as devastatingly handsome as ever without a single flaw. The system let out a very heavy and helpless sigh. Because long ago, a certain someone ranked completely dead last in a really important exam. We have all been there, right? He was so heartbroken he refused the tasty snacks Isolde brought to cheer up her buddy Felix. On the next exam, Isolde intentionally dropped from first place straight to dead last. Hearing this wild reminder, old memories crashed back like a huge tidal wave. Back then, I got last place and sulked for days. Little Shia brought treats to cheer me up, but I was so incredibly sad I didn't even glance their way. The result. In the next exam, Shia ranked completely dead last. I found it weird and asked her. She just smiled sweetly, saying she hated seeing me sad. She promised that with her around, I would never ever have to be dead last again. At the time, I was touched beyond words, but I still totally scolded her. Getting first place is genuinely so awesome. Why didn't you keep your rank? Why would you intentionally fail the test? Outwardly, she promised she wouldn't do it again, but she still stubbornly did exactly what she wanted anyway. Now, all of Class 13 looked at me and Isolde with extreme buzzing excitement. Isolde, just to make a sad boy smile, willingly threw herself from the top academic throne straight down into the bottom of the trash can. Rowena, who initially planned to sleep, heard this spicy tea and absolutely couldn't doze off no matter how hard she tried. She confidently thought to herself, "Getting dead last, I can easily do that too." The system spoke up again. "So can you finally go find her now?" Knowing Isolde was my childhood friend, I suddenly lost all my previous awkwardness. I quickly grabbed my notebook, ready to go find Isolde. But right then I remembered something else. Wait, why did she go abroad? The system stared at my completely blank math page. It felt like it just couldn't spill any more juicy tea. If it kept talking, absolutely zero homework would get done today. Regardless, it had already leaked a pretty huge amount of motivation. That was enough. It couldn't spoil this kid too much. The system just spat out a robotic freezing sentence. "Go ask her yourself." I stared pitifully at the system tearing up. "Trust me, you and I need to see what happens next. Stick with me here." The cursed system didn't care at all, just roaring to go. I had zero choice but to hug my notebook and pen like a lost little puppy, waiting for class to finally end so I could go find Isolde. The final bell rang, but strangely enough, absolutely nobody in Class 13 moved a muscle. Our teacher stared at the completely silent pack of students. A creepy chill crawled right up her spine. Class was totally over, but nobody was running out. This entire setup was scarier than a horror movie. Class 13 is famously packed with wild troublemakers who usually explode out the door the absolute second the bell rings. Yet here they were, all sitting down totally frozen like super obedient little statues. They had not spoken a single word for days, and they still refused to leave after class. How was this normal behavior? In the poor teacher's mind, rumors of Class 13 being demon-haunted totally surfaced. A shiver ran right through her, so she hurriedly hugged her books and bolted. She instantly resolved to find a grandmaster for a peace talisman, because honestly, with the massive salary at this school, she really could not bear quitting. Once she left, I grabbed my notebook, hesitantly taking tiny baby steps over to Isolde. Seeing me slowly approaching, Isolde's earlobes instantly flushed a cute, bright pink. I stealthily sneaked closer, looking at her totally freezing face, while my nervous heart pounded super fast. It has been so incredibly long. Does she even remember me? Is bothering her? Annoying now, getting rejected here would just be super embarrassing. Maybe I should just run back and annoy the blasted system. Everyone in Class 13 was internally screaming to hurry. Now watch closely. If she forgot, why would she ruin her grades for you? Serafina, watching my completely cowardly act, basically wished she could charge forward, shove me right beside Isolde, and forcefully make her tutor me instead. Just when everyone totally thought I was chickening out, Isolde suddenly spoke up. "Do you need something?" Facing Isolde directly, I anxiously stammered. "I have a really hard math problem that I cannot solve. Could you please teach me?" The exact moment those words dropped, I instantly regretted everything. I am such a massive idiot. Isolde is currently ranked dead last. Asking her this is basically picking a fight on purpose, right? If she suddenly gets mad, I need to sprint away fast, but Isolde softly chuckled. "Sure." She shot her deskmate a sharp look, who immediately surrendered the seat. I nervously asked to sit there, and she nodded. Isolde stood up, giving her lovely seat to me while taking Ara's spot instead. Seeing this crazy scene, Ara internally rolled her eyes in deep disgust. "Does my regular seat have a horrible virus or something? Why act so disgusted? If you do not want to sit, then just stand." But facing Isolde's terrifyingly cold glare, she instantly zipped her lips obediently, letting me take the seat. Isolde started breaking down the math problem, but my distracted mind floated straight up into the clouds. Isolde has a really pretty voice. She suddenly paused, her ears burning bright red. "What did you just say?" I stared in pure confusion. "I absolutely didn't say anything." Isolde softly replied that she misheard me and continued on. "I know what you're thinking." Everyone in Class 13 aggressively held back wild laughter. Why is Isolde acting so impossibly cute? Rowena heard those inner thoughts and grew insanely annoyed by the second. "Pretty voice? Yeah, right. My voice is just as incredibly pretty." She suddenly whipped around, staring absolute daggers at me. Rowena was sitting right in front of Isolde, so turning around basically meant she was looking straight at me, chilling in Isolde's spot. Her sudden aggressive turn scared the absolute daylights out of me. Why did she suddenly turn around looking so outrageously furious? Hearing my panicked inner voice, the other classmates quickly glanced over too. Sure enough, they saw Rowena's entire face painted with pure rage. Everyone instantly connected it to those weird rumors I had mentioned earlier. They all assumed Rowena was intensely seething with jealousy. And it wasn't just them. I thought so too. Why is Rowena mad? Is it really because I asked Isolde to tutor me? Is she getting jealous on her cute partner's behalf? She wouldn't hire scary goons to beat me up, right? She is the literal school tyrant. Getting punched by her would absolutely hurt like crazy. How could I stupidly forget that Rowena and Isolde are a couple? If I had known, I would have absolutely never even approached Isolde. My scrawny arms cannot survive a beating. Hearing my inner panicked monologue, Rowena's mad face grew even uglier. Who exactly started this ridiculous rumor about me and Isolde? If I find out, I will beat that rumor monger into a pulp. That intense expression in her eyes looked even more terrifying. What is that scary look so creepy? She's not actually going to hit me, right? Should I make a quick run for it? Rowena barely opened her mouth to speak when Isolde's freezing cold voice sharply cut in. Ignore her. Let's continue. I widened my eyes and silently screamed, "Oh no, what is happening? These two are not planning to throw down here, are they? If they start fighting, I must bolt away instantly." The very last time that they clashed, it ended with me writing a 3,000-word apology essay. That traumatic, heavy feeling is totally still fresh in my memory. That's where we leave it. I solved my parts, and the cursed system can deal with the absolute rest. All right, stick with me here. I tried standing up, but Isolde moved lightning fast with her hands and eyes. She shot me a freezing glare, like she would abandon this rare moment. Why would she let me escape so easily? She turned to Rowena, her tone displeased. Do you have a problem? If not, do not bother us today. Rowena raised an eyebrow. Of course I have a problem. I can tutor Felix too, Isolde just sneered, acting like she heard the greatest joke in the world. You with your math score in the double-digit gutter. Rowena flushed slightly red, her eyes flashing a hint of regret. If I had known, I would have studied properly, but honestly, her fierce aura did not lose an inch. So what you think you are such a great teacher I can easily hire professional tutors for, Felix? Isolde curled her lip in utter contempt. That sound of sheer disdain completely detonated Rowena's fury. What is that supposed to mean? Class 13, currently watching this theatrical drama, instantly got hyped. Their eyes sparkled brilliantly. Fight, fight. Rowena versus the school beauty. Who will actually emerge victorious? Facing two beauties tense as drawn bowstrings right in front of me was pure madness. I felt zero sense of honor. Instead, my inner voice whispered loudly, maybe I should just slip away. Both of them shouted in perfect unison, "Do not dare leave!" I swallowed hard, my heart hammering against my ribs. Oh my gosh! Synchronized shouting. They truly are the perfect couple. Isolde and Rowena glared at each other, their eyes completely overflowing with mutual disgust. Watching this scene, I tried my best to shrink my existence down to zero. Now watch closely. These two arguing is absolutely terrifying, and I am definitely not becoming innocent collateral damage in their crazy crossfire. They seemed to reach some silent consensus. They needed to make it crystal clear to me that there was absolutely nothing going on between them. Both of them spoke in unison again. I was so startled I jumped up. What is wrong? Are you telling me to leave? I will leave right now. But before I could even finish, Rowena and Isolde grabbed my left and right shoulders, heavily pressing me down and forcing me back into the chair. I felt like a little white rabbit waiting to be cooked, sitting there looking utterly pitiful and tragic. The whole crowd watching the show cheered in sheer delight. Oh my gosh, if school is this entertaining, who would ever really want to go out and play? Ara watched the unfolding drama with absolute fascination, instantly forgiving Isolde for being disgusted earlier. Serafina's eyes were literally sparkling like bright diamonds. Even though she felt a tiny bit guilty toward her dad, this dramatic showdown was simply too delicious. The ice-cold beauty versus the ultimate school tyrant. What an absolutely amazing episode. Give us a few more seasons, please. All of Class 13 was totally ecstatic beyond belief, but I felt like I was sitting on a blazing barbecue grill, terrified their lovers' quarrel would completely drag me down. Just as I opened my mouth, Rowena and Isolde spoke in perfect unison once again, "We are not what you think we are." Like what I was completely baffled but could not help marveling at their synchronization. As expected of the little couple, Rowena and Isolde glared at each other as if the other was some entirely repulsive alien life form. Isolde signaled Rowena with her sharp eyes. You shut up. I will do the talking. Rowena silently rebelled. Why should I? This intense eye contact battle left me completely stunned. The other classmates also looked at each other in total bewilderment. What exactly are these two plotting? Rowena shot a fierce glare and quickly snatched the lead. We both know what is coming, right, Felix? I have something to tell you. My heart clenched. Is she telling me to stay away from Isolde? Is she asserting dominance over her territory? No need for that. I will voluntarily scram right out of here. I absolutely will not force you to get... Physical. Isolde looked helplessly at Rowena. What an idiot. Just as she was about to fiercely retort, a gentle voice suddenly interjected. Felix, if you have any questions, you can just ask me. Hearing this voice, I felt like I had finally met my savior. I turned around and saw the class rep smiling so brightly, looking right at me. Without another word, I grabbed my backpack and lunged toward the class rep. Class rep, let us get out of here. Rowena and Isolde stared unhappily at Caspian, but the class rep completely ignored their glares, just smiling as he smoothly led me back to my seat. The class rep calmly said to Ara, "You can go now." Ara blanked out for the second, totally not understanding what the class rep was doing, but she still quickly surrendered her seat. As soon as I sat down, the class rep turned to my deskmate. Orion, can we swap seats? Orion glanced at the class rep's illegally handsome face and instantly felt super intimidated, quickly giving up his seat without a single fight. The whole class witnessed this moment and collectively turned to stone. Why did the class rep suddenly jump into the fray? But honestly, this god-tier drama was simply too mesmerizing. You and I are internally screaming right now. Keep going. We love this. The class rep and I smiled radiantly, but Isolde and Rowena were as gloomy as dark storm clouds. The two exchanged a fierce look and simultaneously let out a very cold snort. Neither bothered paying attention to the other, but they both turned to glare at me and the class rep at the exact same time. Stick with me here. Our smiles made them absolutely furious. I watched these two powerhouses, cold sweat rolling down my spine. One wrong move right now and I am totally getting wiped off the map. Luckily, the class rep stepped in. Thanks to his endless patience, I somehow finished my assignment right before the bell rang. I slumped into my seat, totally exhausted. My energy was gone. Honestly, I never want to look at math ever again. That difficulty level was pure madness, way too hard, and the crazy system, it actually played clapping sound effects at my absolute misery. Great job, right? The system cheered me on, and my classmates were absolutely thrilled, because finally they were about to hear all the juicy drama regarding Serafina's dad. I gave a sheepish grin, looking at our class rep with total gratitude. This guy is seriously incredible, like a literal modern-day hero. Flashing him a huge smile, I said thanks. Caspian just waved it off, his voice super gentle. He told me it was no problem. Right then, he shot a fierce glare straight at Rowena. This is completely your fault. Rowena was not backing down. She glared right back, remembering my pathetic state. In her head, she swore she would study like an absolute machine tonight. Next time, she would teach me herself. Honestly, I ignored their dramatic little rivalry entirely. Now pay attention. My brain was totally hooked on Serafina's wild family drama. I opened my mouth to ask, but the final bell suddenly rang out. Curiously, nobody moved a single inch. I scratched my head, just completely and utterly confused by this. Why is nobody leaving? Classes are done. Shouldn't they be sprinting for the exit gates? Everyone was sitting frozen like meditating monks, completely still. And I was not the only one totally creeped out. Even the teacher panicked at the silent room and quickly ran away. This class is way too weird. I absolutely need to buy a protective peace talisman from a pro. Hearing my thoughts, Class 13 groaned in pure frustration. That annoying bell. When we want to leave, it never rings. But now when we want to stay, it chimes perfectly on time. We are ruined. Everyone swallowed hard, desperately thinking up an excuse. Suddenly, one guy in the back spoke up. Oh, well, whatever happens. I do not want to go home yet. I will nap first, then leave. And just like that, he completely collapsed right onto his school desk. His deskmate quickly agreed with him. I will stay right here too. I raised an eyebrow, thinking, wow, multiplayer sleeping is a thing. Then one by one, the rest of the class slumped onto their desks. Their actions screamed, we are absolutely not leaving. Super bizarre, but honestly, this class is always strange, so it felt pretty normal to me. Right after that, I finally broke the silence. Let us walk and talk. Class 13 instantly bounced up like toasted Pop-Tarts and grabbed their bags. It completely startled me, nearly making me drop my textbook. You saw that too, right? What is happening here? I thought you guys were napping. Why the sudden jump? Something is seriously wrong with them. The whole room complained mentally, calling me the weird one. Are we not doing this for you? Everyone was risking everything just for the juicy gossip. Serafina walked right up to me, flashing a ridiculously sweet, completely overpowering, sugary smile. Felix let us go get some food together. I stared at her thinking, are we really even friends? But a pretty girl was asking, so how could I decline? I smiled back and agreed. Serafina blushed bright pink, acting super shy around me. She brought up a brand new snail noodle spot nearby. I will buy you some noodles, okay? I just nodded. Seeing me act so well behaved, Serafina suddenly felt her hands getting super itchy. She finally understood why the campus beauty and the top bully were fighting. Looking at my innocent puppy dog face, it was completely impossible to resist. She screamed internally, trying to figure out how to secretly take me home. Right then, the rest of the class suddenly spoke up in perfect unison. Serafina, take us out too. We want food. Yeah, you cannot just buy dinner for Felix. I blinked, feeling totally surprised by the massive crowd. Are these noodles seriously that amazing? Why is everyone so desperate to go? Everyone grumbled mentally. It is definitely not about the food. We just want to tag along and feast on all the juicy gossip. Deep down, Serafina really wanted to blast them all right there. But realizing everyone was equally desperate for the tea, she just sighed and reluctantly nodded her head. So the entire class, 13, marched out together, heading straight for that new noodle spot by the campus. A massive squad of over 20 students giving off total mafia vibes. They completely terrified the random passing students. But once people noticed it was just Class 13, everyone completely understood the strange and wild energy. Class 13 has been acting crazy lately. The whole campus knows it. So they marched proudly toward the noodle shop. Other students slammed their brakes, spun their bikes around, and actually sprinted out of the shop. So what do you and I make of this absolute madness we will see? Stick with me here, you and I are jumping into absolute madness. Do we look like a street gang? Class 13 just stared at each other. Some awkwardly rubbed their noses, ready for drama. Everyone was risking it all right now. The shop owner watched his normal customers run away and stepped out to check the chaos. But he completely froze, stunned by the aggressive energy radiating from Class 13. Serafina saw the owner's totally dumbfounded expression and barely held back laughter. He probably thinks we are some mafia mob coming to wreck his shop. Barnaby just scratched his head, smiling with that pure country charm. Boss, we just want to buy some snail noodles. The owner was utterly confused why a bunch of kids buying noodles looked like a triad gang. But his merchant instincts won, and he enthusiastically invited us straight inside anyway. After all, who says no to cash? Every single student in Class 13 grabbed a noodle bowl. I admired my deluxe premium bowl with double eggs and extra sausage. Mid-bite, I sneakily questioned the blasted system. So how exactly did Serafina's dad mess up? Who is the secret affair partner? The second those words dropped, the entire class bugged their eyes out, glaring right at me with intense curiosity. The system cleared its throat. Listen up, master. I will tell you everything. Not only is Serafina's dad having an affair, her mom is cheating too. I was completely flabbergasted. Class 13 exchanged wild glances. Serafina literally turned to solid stone. Like what? My dad is cheating, and my mom is cheating too. What kind of joke is this? My parents clearly love each other forever. Everyone immediately threw Serafina glances full of profound sympathy, practically screaming, "Wow, she is so pitiful." Now pay attention, you and I need to watch this closely. Her perfect parents, both faking it. The system dropped massive shockers. Her dad is exploring some highly forbidden family tree geometry. Her mom is playing out the spicy stepmother trope. My eyes nearly popped out of my skull. Class 13 screamed in pure excitement, "Too spicy, keep going." Serafina slumped onto the table like a limp noodle. Forbidden family tree, spicy stepmom tropes. How do you even come up with that? But who on earth is my dad with? Is it the eldest uncle or the youngest uncle? Please, it cannot be Grandpa. That would attract lightning from the heavens, she thought quietly to herself. If it was not Grandpa, then maybe the eldest or youngest uncle or her mom with little grandma. That would not be too hard to accept. Life is truly bitter. Even the most delicious sweet pastry could not soothe the absolute agony in her heart. All of Class 13, me included, watched Serafina with deeply empathetic eyes. Serafina waved her hand, signaling she needed zero pity. These pitying looks only make me feel pathetic. As the system kept dropping extremely spicy details, I asked curiously, "So do the husband and wife actually know about each other?" The system replied smugly. Of course they know. They even cover for each other like absolute partners in crime. You are thinking exactly what I was, right? Forget guilt. Give me all the juicy details. Everyone else instantly chimed in. We want the gossip too. Serafina broke down, crying, I do not want this. Let me go home. This is way too scary. The system coughed twice, acting like it received some secret signal. The husband and wife are currently hanging out at the Floral Sun Hotel. They actually booked a room right nearby. Wanna go? I can explain the backstory on the way. I instantly sprang up from my chair. As I stood up, the entire class stood right up with me. Class rep. Caspian calmly pushed his gold-rimmed glasses up his nose, the corners of his lips curving into a slight smirk. Does everyone want to visit my family's hotel? Wait, Hotel the Floral Sun Hotel is apparently owned by our class rep's family. I hurriedly nodded like a chicken pecking rice. Go, go! Everyone else nodded too, saying we are going as well. The class rep chuckled softly. Let's roll. The class rep led the absolute entirety of Class 13 aggressively marching toward his family's elite hotel. The system suddenly asked, whose spicy tea do you want to hear first? Her dad's or her mom's? I recalled that wild stepmother identity, thinking about how Serafina's mom and the little grandma never seemed to get along. What on earth brought them together? I am actually super curious about her dad. What secrets are hiding behind those events? Is it a brother, a nephew, an uncle, or multiple dads? Could it honestly be a whole group all at once? When I asked this, Serafina felt so helpless she almost fainted from stress. What kind of karma did I accumulate to deserve this absolute torture? Everyone cheered with excitement. You can do that too. The rich really do have the absolute wildest drama. The system glanced at me and cleared its throat mysteriously. It is none of those people. I was shocked, eyes wide. Could it actually be Grandpa? Grandpa-grandson romance is not okay. But isn't Serafina's grandpa already gone? Trust me, you are going to want to see this. Serafina almost fainted from rage, desperately needing an ambulance as our entire class absolutely exploded. Stick with me here. A romance between humans and ghosts. The system sighed heavily at my guess. My imagination is just too rich. Nope, completely wrong guess. Serafina and I grabbed our chests, letting out a huge sigh of relief. Still, the whole thing felt super weird. This drama is not even my business, so why am I sweating? I glared at the system and rushed it. Come on, spit it out. Stop leaving us hanging here. Finally, the system decided to spill the absolute truth. It is her grandfather's father's secret son. I totally froze. Hold on, what kind of crazy logic is that? Her grandfather's father's secret son. Does not that just make him her grandfather's younger brother, meaning Serafina's dad's great-uncle? Hearing that, it still sounded like a granddad and grandson situation. But honestly, it was not as mind-blowing as my first wild guess. Seeing it was not the secret son she imagined, Serafina felt her heart settle down just a tiny bit. Even though family tree romance is completely taboo, she strangely felt a really bizarre wave of relief. The system spoke super slowly, making my stomach completely drop. Okay, tell me right now, what is the actual truth behind all this? I slapped my forehead, trying to calculate this little great-granddad's actual age. Does Serafina's dad even know? The system started explaining everything. This little great-granddad is the late-born baby of the grandfather's dad. He is way younger than the grandfather who basically raised him like a son. Crazy enough, he is only 10 years older than Serafina's dad. Now here is where things get really interesting. I totally interrupted. In this incredibly twisted dynamic, who is actually the older one here? The system looked completely confused. What do you mean? I politely explained my extremely detailed theory. It just laughed. Will you not find out when we check later? Stop interrupting me, or I am keeping the rest a secret. I instantly zipped my lips tight. Please go right ahead. The system hummed softly and continued. The grandfather kept this little great-granddad completely hidden inside the Sioux household. Literally nobody in the world knew he even existed. Back then, Serafina's dad was a total playboy. Nobody could resist his charm. But seeing the little great-granddad, his heart genuinely skipped a beat. He fell ridiculously hard, completely driven by the intense thrill of the chase. Despite being chased relentlessly, the little great-granddad knew their family ties and constantly rejected Serafina's dad. He fell not for the wealth, but for that naturally pure vibe. Because of that, he just kept sinking deeper into love. Serafina's dad chased him until his feelings became totally real. However, heavy moral pressure stopped him from actually crossing the line and making a move. That is until Serafina's dad nearly lost his life for him. The little great-granddad finally surrendered. They shared an unforgettable, intensely passionate romance. But obviously it did not last long before the grandfather caught them red-handed. After one secret conversation, the little great-granddad fled abroad to avoid Serafina's dad entirely. He vanished without a trace. Crushing family pressure and an arranged marriage forced Serafina's dad to helplessly marry her mom. You and I know exactly how this goes. Both loved other people, only agreeing to a fake marriage of convenience because they were totally forced. Meanwhile, Serafina's mom and the little grandma lived incredibly happily together, while Serafina's dad just spent every single day in heartbroken misery. Finally, upon taking over the Sue family, he broke his chains, flew overseas, and dragged the little great-granddad back home. I gasped out loud. This is incredibly spicy. This plot is dripping with premium drama. Everyone else chimed in at once, entirely captivated. An expressionless Serafina comforted herself. No big deal. Life is tough, but it will pass. The future will be fine, even though she was clearly feeling a little down. The system glared at me, and I instantly covered my mouth tight. The system went on. The next part has slightly less drama, so I will keep it super brief. I cannot bear to ruin it all. I instantly blurted out, "Oh my gosh, I need to hear it too." Everyone nodded along, desperate to keep snacking on this amazing drama. Serafina covered her ears tightly. She refused to hear more stories about her dad. The system shot me a severe warning glare. What are you even listening for? Your current mission is studying hard, progressing daily, and crushing that big university entrance exam. You are absolutely forbidden from listening to this useless nonsense. I quickly covered my mouth, grumbling internally. The system nags way more than my own mom. Then it continued speaking. Next came the forced confinement of the little great-granddad. Do not learn from this. Our main focus is to study hard. Got it. We are absolutely forbidden from doing illegal things. The second it finished the story, it started lecturing me again. Even though I completely zoned out, craving the next spicy chapter of this drama, I just sat there and obediently nodded my head. Seeing me behave well, the system resumed the story. The little great-granddad absolutely refused to agree. They both plunged into absolute torment. And trust me, you are going to want to hear this next bloodline reveals. Come with me here. Serafina's dad actually drank for 3 straight nights. Finally, he returned to the little great-grandpa, declaring he honestly did not care. He literally declared, "You are the one true partner that destiny gave me. You just happen to live with my family. We can be family and lovers. No matter what you believe, I will always cherish you." I immediately wiped that stunned look off my face and sneaked a peek at Serafina. Admiring her dad's romance with another guy right in front of his own daughter felt super awkward. Their family dynamic is absolutely wild and complicated. And then what? I frantically urged the system to keep going. The little great-grandpa hesitated slightly, admitting he needed some time to think. But right at that very moment, the grandfather swooped in and totally kidnapped him. The grandfather could not accept his grandson falling for his younger brother. But Serafina's dad quickly figured it out. He swore to save his partner and fiercely confronted his grandfather. "If he falls, then I will go down right alongside him." The grandfather was tormented to sheer exhaustion and ended up making only one strict demand. Never let this leak and ruin my reputation. And then they were together. That is literally it. I looked right at Serafina and asked, "Wait, are you truly their biological kid?" Serafina just rolled her eyes. Her spirit had already taken massive critical damage. "Stop messing around," the system smacked my head. "Stop overthinking everything. Now watch this part. Obviously, after Serafina was born, her parents went off chasing their true loves." I just sighed. So didn't they both cheat anyway? The system glared at me. "What are you thinking? By the time they found true love, neither was innocent anymore." I gasped out loud. "So wait, what about her mom?" Everyone's eyes practically sparkled with a massive thirst for drama. Even feeling slightly guilty about Serafina snacking on this juicy gossip felt absolutely heavenly. Serafina lost all her will to resist laying flat like a totally deflated balloon. She figured she could easily handle this. It is just the classic spicy stepmother trope, right? But her spirit still could not dodge the incoming damage. The system dramatically cleared its throat and continued the story. Serafina's maternal grandfather was a total player. Especially after her grandmother passed away, he completely drowned himself in the glamorous outside world. Serafina's mom got totally used to this and did not even bother caring about his many mistresses out there. Her only strict demand, never bring them home. But unexpectedly, he brought one woman back and actually legally registered a marriage with her. Serafina's mom was absolutely furious and marched over to confront her father. But he acted completely possessed. No matter how much her mom threw a tantrum, nothing changed. He was entirely dead set on marrying her. Furious Serafina's mom angrily ran away from home. Her grandfather did not coddle her whatsoever. He completely cut off her credit cards and forbade anyone from helping. She truly had no choice but to find a job. She finally landed a cafe job. The shop owner was this gentle, incredibly beautiful, and super kind-hearted woman. Knowing she had nowhere to live, the owner did not hesitate for a second to invite Serafina's mom to stay over. "I know what you are thinking," I interrupted. "Wait, is that shop owner the new stepmother?" The system annoyedly smacked me again. "Why interrupt? Just listen." I quickly nodded, signaling I understood, and went back to listening. Serafina's mom always lived that pampered, rich girl life. She honestly did not know the first thing about cooking anything. Thankfully, the sweet shop owner stepped in to help and supervise. Gradually, Serafina's mom developed real feelings for this gentle beauty. But the owner saw right through it all and pulled her aside for a serious talk. Keeping it short, she announced she was getting married. Serafina's mom instantly felt her heart shatter into countless pieces. She ran off to a bar to drown her sorrows. Her friends hyped her up, egging her to crash the wedding and steal the bride. In a wild moment of drunken foolishness, Serafina's mom actually agreed. Arriving on the wedding day, she discovered the groom was her own father. I excitedly sang, "You are marrying, but the groom is not me," in Even though everyone praised my singing, they were still burning with extreme impatience to hear the rest. Serafina covered her face, trying to console herself. "It is fine, just the stepmother trope." My dad's situation was way more complicated, involving that messy family tree. Having survived that, I am basically immune now. Absolutely nothing could break her inner resilience now. The system continued the wild story. When Serafina's mom realized the wonderful woman she secretly loved was actually marrying her father, she got completely wasted and actually took his place in the bridal chamber. I slapped my thigh. "I want that video, show me the video." "You and I would demand to see it too." Serafina had gone completely numb. "Stick with me here." Her phone blew up with group chat notifications, but she didn't even need to check the exact drama. She shut her phone off, begging for some peace. Meanwhile, my system glared at me, waving its tiny stick around like it was totally disappointed in my absolute lack of potential. It strictly warned, "I have told you 100 times. Those totally inappropriate images are strictly forbidden to view. Your mission is," I quickly answered, "to study hard and make progress every single day." "Got it." Everyone covered their mouths, secretly giggling. Serafina glanced at me, seeing my absolutely helpless expression, and her mood actually lifted a bit. The system sounded totally satisfied. "Good that you know." I urgently told it to continue. It nodded, moving on. After that night, those two became total strangers, losing all contact until Serafina's dad teamed up with her mom and they actually got married. On the wedding day, Serafina's mom tracked down her stepmother just to announce she was officially getting married. The stepmother just offered a super bland congratulation. Her face showed zero sadness or emotion. She just kept that usual gentle smile. Those exact smiles that once healed Serafina's mom now felt like absolute daggers glaring straight into her eyes. The fortress in her mom's heart completely collapsed. She had no clue what to do. Post-wedding, they never met again until news broke about her father's passing. Serafina's mom then returned to inherit the massive family fortune. I threw my hand up excitedly. "I know this part." She inherited all her dad's assets, including the stepmother. The system glared, warning me. "That is correct, but stop watching those totally weird things." I pouted with pride, but outwardly agreed. "And then what happened?" I asked curiously. The system kept going. "Now pay close attention." What followed was completely heartbreaking, torturous drama. But eventually, those two actually ended up together. I pouted and complained. "Is that it?" The system reminded me we almost reached the hotel. Hearing that, I perked straight up, plotting to ditch the crowd and watch the chaotic drama alone. But Class 13 was not about to let me pull a solo mission. "Do not even try sneaking off alone." Serafina nervously gripped my hand tight, faking a painful expression. My stomach hurt so bad. "Walk faster." I was absolutely thrilled. Ignoring everything else, I dragged her into a full sprint. "Go, go, go!" The hotel is straight ahead. We were running so incredibly fast, like actual zombies were chasing us. No zombies here, but an entire horde of classmates was in hot pursuit, practically bursting into the hotel lobby behind us. The receptionist walked over. "Are you two booking a room?" I nodded fast. "Yes, book one room." But somehow, somewhere, things went totally wrong. The room ended up completely packed with all of Class 13. I just stared helplessly. What even is this? The whole mob squeezed into one room. That receptionist probably thought we were gathering for something incredibly sketchy. She almost called the cops. Thankfully, the class rep stepped up and completely resolved it. You and I both know I needed out. Looking at that crammed crowd, I racked my brain for a perfect excuse to escape. Serafina clearly read my mind. Everyone threatened me. "Do not even try ditching us. We stick like glue." Getting stared at that intensely gave me major creeps. I hurriedly grabbed some fried chicken, pretending to stay perfectly calm, and shouted, "What are you guys doing? You are scaring me." Over 20 pairs of eyes glared straight at me. It genuinely felt like they might jump me. Everyone immediately looked away, but honestly, I felt even more uneasy now. Oh no, are they planning a collective freakout? I thought, secretly plotting my epic escape. Right at that exact moment, the system suddenly spoke up. "They are almost done. If you do not go now, it is too late." I immediately sprang up from my chair. My heart pounded wildly. Are they that fast, or am I getting old? The exact moment I stood up, everyone else stood up simultaneously. Yep, they definitely have major issues. They clenched their fists, clearly super offended by my thoughts. I quickly yelled, "I'm going to find some fruit." Before they could even react, I sprinted out that door with absolute lightning speed. Behind me, that entire mob was right on my tail. Aware of my sneaky behavior, I just kept screaming internally, "Hurry, hurry! Where is it? Lead the way." My heart was absolutely overflowing with anticipation and urgency. The system guided me forward while Class 13 trailed behind. This bizarre, chaotic scene made passing guests and staff stop in absolute bewildered shock. But a simple, calm gesture from the young master of the hotel instantly smoothed everything over. Oh, it is just the young master showing classmates around. I followed my system straight to a door, nodding super suspiciously. "Are you positive this is the one?" I pressed my ear against the door but heard absolutely nothing. I cursed internally. Damn it, the soundproofing is actually this good. I stared at the door handle, hesitating. If I literally smash this door, what happens? The system calmly replied, "You just pay damages." I sighed in relief. Trust me, if it only costs money, we have nothing to fear. Right when I debated pulling a bold, heroic stunt, my system chimed in with another warning. "Hey, no need to act so aggressive here. Stick with me, we are just here for the tea." I snapped right back. Obviously, it is worth it, otherwise the show ends. But right before making my move, it hit me. Hold on, who exactly is inside that room? The system confirmed. Every single one of them. I froze in total shock, eyes wide. The whole group stood completely stunned, jaws hitting the floor. Serafina basically wanted the ground to swallow her whole. She is usually so perfectly poised and super proper. Turns out they play seriously rough. I cannot handle this. Smash the door or I will do it. Suddenly seeing a giant hammer in her hand totally startled me. I swallowed hard. "Where did you even find that?" She pointed at a toolbox. Panic set in. Does she know my secret? The rest of Class 13 nodded casually. "Obviously, we know you brought all the juicy drama." Seeing Serafina flash that creepy smile, a freezing shiver hit my spine. Right then, she gripped that hammer hard, ready to smash the door down, but the class rep reached out and smoothly blocked her hand. Clearly upset, Serafina looked up, seeing the class rep flash a gentle smile. "Wrecking doors is bad vibes." She knew it looked bad, but her own parents were inside having some wild multiplayer co-op session. I just stood beside her, nodding along and saying, "Yeah, totally right." Hearing my inner thoughts, everybody stared at me, shocked. "Wait, wasn't breaking the door your genius plan?" I touched my cheeks, acting totally clueless. Why is everyone staring again? Do I have something on my face? Or am I genuinely just getting way more handsome? Meanwhile, the class rep calmly knocked on the wood. "Excuse me. Hello in there. We have a fire out here." I rolled my eyes. Classic trick. The rest of the squad looked completely amazed. Now watch closely. Serafina thought getting this door open is all that matters. I absolutely must catch them red-handed today. Sure, busting her own parents would totally wreck her pride, but realizing they threw every single rule out the window honestly made her feel incredibly liberated and free. Exactly on cue, the heavy door cracked open, revealing a totally shirtless man. Behind him stood another guy and two ladies. Spotting the giant mob of students waiting outside, they panicked and tried slamming it shut. "Mom! Dad, what are you actually doing?" Serafina cried out, her total disbelief shattering the quiet. Seeing his kid, the dad touched his face in absolute panic. "We are just getting a massage." I leaned in fast. "A massage? Is that actually the truth?" Out of nowhere, my inner thoughts blared out loud. "Oh my gosh, why is everything pixelated like some crazy mosaic?" The system calmly stated it was protecting my mental health. All explicit revealing visuals are now fully censored. My brain literally exploded. "I know what you are thinking. If it is a massage, why censor it? Why block my view?" The system stayed firm. No means absolutely no, plus they really were just getting massaged. My eyes stretched wide like huge bells, completely distracted by the system. "Why did you not mention this earlier?" The system replied seriously. "How could I predict your mind lived deep in the gutter? Your thoughts are completely filthy." I felt cheated seeing nothing and getting totally scolded for it. I felt so unbelievably wronged. "You were obviously the one misleading me here," I grumbled bitterly. Class 13 looked super disappointed. So nothing wild actually happened. Seeing me sulk, the system kindly clarified. They finished the deed already. Now they are just getting a massage together. "Oh," I quietly muttered internally. Their marital bond is seriously strong." Everyone nodded along. Serafina shot the class a fierce glare, blocked them from entering, and slammed the door, leaving us stranded outside. I just stared at that locked door, my heart heavy with sheer disappointment. "Where is the rest of the drama?" The crew signaled their burning curiosity. The system could not hold back. "Do you want a real-time live audio broadcast right now?" I nodded frantically. "Oh yes, yes." The others chimed in right as the broadcast started. Suddenly, the door swung open. Serafina forcefully yanked me inside. She heard my leaking thoughts inside and figured keeping one guy in the loop is way better than the entire mob knowing. The heavy door loudly slammed shut again. Class 13 was fully locked out again. They frantically signaled the class rep with their eyes to get it wide open. The class rep gave a small shake of his head. "No way. I cannot randomly open a guest door." Just when the squad ran out of ideas, my internal thoughts blared out loud. "Oh my gosh, so spicy. This is totally private family business. I am just a total outsider standing here. Is this really appropriate?" The system replied bluntly. "If you think it is wrong, then simply leave." I thought to myself, I am already here. Obviously, I have to stay and watch this spicy drama unfold. But how did Serafina figure this out? I am literally dying of curiosity. The whole class finally realized the truth. Serafina dragged me inside purely because of my leaked thoughts. Even through that door, she heard every internal monologue. What an insanely unexpected harvest. You and I just watched the boys stick to the door like geckos, eavesdropping hard. "All right, stick with me here. I just got kissed." Serafina confessed to me out of nowhere. If I'd known this would happen, I'd never have stepped inside. The guy by the door went wide-eyed. What Isolde and Rowena immediately raised their massive hammers to completely smash the door down. Then a gentle voice interrupted. "Hold on, I have the master key." Everyone questioned the class rep in pure shock. "You had the key this entire time. Why didn't you open it earlier?" She just gave a blank stare. "Earlier was impossible. Now I have to save my client. As the hotel owner, I obviously must ensure that my guests stay perfectly safe." Serafina yanked me straight into the room where I saw her dad sitting there fully dressed. The 4 adults sat stiffly in a neat row. Serafina forced me to sit directly across from them. Watching this, I thought, are we interrogating criminals here? The 4 parents sitting across from us completely refused to break. They just got caught red-handed by the younger generation who brought a massive army of students. Plus, an extra kid got dragged right into the mess. The whole room instantly froze solid. Nobody said a single word, but my inner voice was absolutely screaming. Why did I even come here? Is this okay? This is their family drama. Do I even belong here? My system called me shameless. If it's wrong, just leave. I argued back internally, annoyed it was completely ruining my drama viewing. "Do you even deserve to be my system?" I grumbled internally. "I'm already stuck inside. Obviously, I'm watching until the end. Why is nobody talking? Are we seriously just sitting in silence like this?" Hearing me, Serafina suddenly cleared her throat. Anything to say outside, I looked perfectly calm, but internally I was screaming. "Watch closely now. Are they gonna throw hands?" Serafina literally had anime stress lines popping on her forehead. She helplessly thought to herself, these are all educated, civilized people. There is absolutely no way they'll actually throw punches. Her dad shot her a super apologetic look, awkwardly opening and closing his mouth a few times like a fish. Ultimately, he said absolutely nothing. Watching this heavy silence, Serafina finally just exploded. What does this mean? Zero explanation. Both her parents leaned in super close, desperately trying to calm their daughter down. Sarah, let's discuss this properly at home, all right? But Serafina violently yanked her hands away. Why go home? Can't we talk right here, sitting beside her? I instantly backed her up. Yeah, exactly. Why not explain everything right now? My system immediately chimed in. Do you really not understand why? It finally clicked. 4 pairs of eyes were staring directly at my soul. Oh, it's my fault. I'll just step out. But Serafina grabbed my hand incredibly tight. He's my classmate. He deserves to know everything. Her parents desperately tried pacifying her. Sarah, stop this scene. She refused to yield. What scene? You guys hid this first. Besides, Felix isn't going anywhere. Today, you both owe me a full, complete explanation. Her dad tried pleading again, but Serafina decisively planted a kiss on my cheek and boldly declared he's the guy I like. From now on, I'm staying right by his side. He has every right to know the truth. Her dad let out a yell. But Serafina wasn't losing this fight. She kissed me again. So what? Dad loves the little great-grandpa. Mom lives a stepmother romance with the little grandma. Tell me who is actually being more outrageous here. You saw that too, right? Utter chaos. I was completely stunned. I just got kissed by Serafina. She even said she likes me. I never should have entered. This is genuinely terrifying. Suddenly, the door crashed open. I panicked, seeing a crowd standing there. Before I could even blink, Isolde and Rowena were already dragging me out of the room. Serafina wasn't letting go. She locked her arms around my waist and immediately screamed out loud. You can't tear Felix and me apart, I only choose him. I panicked even harder. Please don't do this. I'm scared we aren't there yet, girls, please, Isolde firmly advised her classmate Sue. Solve your family drama first. Rowena wasn't showing any weakness either. Let go. Are you totally blind? Why are you dragging the guy I like away? Rowena completely choked on her words. Serafina instantly corrected her. I mean, I like Felix. Getting confessed to by a beauty felt awkward. My heart skipped a beat, but this whole situation was way too chaotic. Saying this right now put me in a terrible spot. The scene before my eyes was pure, unadulterated chaos. Her dad went from totally furious to completely dumbfounded. Her mom stared blankly, wondering if she'd somehow given her daughter the wrong idea about romance. The little great-grandpa and little grandma were feeling absolutely immense regret. They definitely shouldn't have appeared here. Class 13 temporarily had absolutely no idea what to do. So what do you and I learn here? They came for the parents' drama, but who knew it would loop back involving them and completely dragging me into it? Stick with me here. This epic tangled mess starts with the class rep stepping up to rescue me. If you want to make a huge scene, deal with it yourselves. Leave Felix out of this. I nod furiously. Yes, exactly. Deal with it yourselves. Leave me out of it. But Serafina is totally resolute. What drama am I making? I just like Felix. Class rep, are you trying to fight me for him? The class rep's eyes instantly darken. He looks at Serafina, the corners of his lips curling into a super cryptic smile. Her parents have not even processed what is happening. My head is spinning like a top right now. What kind of wild scene is this? So scary. I want to leave. If I had known, I never would have come. I came to watch a fun show and ended up jumping straight into the fire. Isolde suddenly steps forward, grabs my hand, and speaks super coldly to the room. Felix, I have not seen your parents in a while. They miss you a lot. I will take you to see them. I nod nonstop. Yes, let's go right now. But Serafina refuses to yield, gripping my hand tight. You cannot leave. My parents also want to meet Felix. She turns to her parents for backup right away. Right, Mom, Dad. Even though this whole situation is completely bizarre just to save their daughter's reputation, the two parents nod repeatedly. Yes, yes, yes. We would definitely like to have a chat with Felix. They are dying of curiosity. Who exactly is this kid that utterly enchanted their daughter? Isolde totally refuses to back down. Well, you have seen him now. We are leaving. She immediately drags me toward the door. Rowena chases after us, grabbing me super tight. I look at her helplessly, screaming internally. Hey, why did you jump into this too? I glance at Isolde holding my hand, realizing the school tyrant is jealous once again. Her possessiveness is just way too strong. Whatever, I really better stay far away. I try with all my absolute might to yank my hand back, but totally fail. I desperately signal Isolde with my eyes. Hey, your supposed lover is acting up. Now pay attention here. She still refuses to let go. I look directly to Rowena for help trying to speak perfectly with my eyes. She will not let go if you two have issues, solve them at home. Do not drag me into this. All of Class 13 is just completely bewildered. They cannot understand what is happening. It is way too chaotic. But honestly, this scene is incredibly gripping. Rowena keeps staring right at me. Her cheeks blush pink, acting like she just made some massive resolution. In my eyes, this is just the school tyrant throwing a huge tantrum about to beat someone up. I pull my hand desperately. Let me go, the tyrant is mad. What if she hits me? You two are obviously in love. Cannot you just figure it out yourselves? Do not involve me. Rowena's face goes completely pale, but she still looks shy. Finally, she calmly declares, Felix is my fiancé. He has to go with me. I am utterly dumbfounded. The class rep just smiles, a wild, unreadable emotion totally flashing in his eyes. Class 13 is entirely losing their minds with excitement. So spicy, this trip was not a waste at all. We got so much premium tea. You saw that coming, right? I morph into Superman, violently jerking my hands free and slap Rowena on the forehead. Did your brain short circuit? You are talking absolute nonsense. Serafina, standing nearby, nods frantically and loudly chimes in. Rowena, do not tell me your brain is totally flooded with water. Aren't you deeply passionately in love with Isolde? Why bring Felix into this wild engagement nonsense? I nod, like a chicken pecking rice. Exactly right. You two are lovers having a silly spat. Do not drag me into it. Rowena is so incredibly furious at me, she almost explodes completely. Today, she has to finally clear this up. She charges forward and grips my hand tightly. I have absolutely nothing to do with Isolde. Those wild rumors are completely fabricated. I outwardly nod obediently, but internally grumble. Yeah, right. These are just typical tricks of a bickering couple. Serafina, hearing my inner thoughts, almost laughs out loud. Rowena is so angry she starts jumping up and down. I am completely innocent with Isolde. I do not like her and she hates me. If you do not believe me, ask her yourself. I nod perfunctorily. Yeah, got it. You are just arguing using me as a meat shield. Isolde is truly a sly fox. Rowena instantly goes berserk. Serafina just laughs hysterically. Class 13 covers their mouths, snickering. They completely feel like what I said makes way too much sense. Rowena turns and glares at Isolde. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and explain. Isolde steps forward and speaks. I truly have nothing going on with Rowena. I do not know who started that rumor. I nod obediently. Understood. Yes. Whatever you guys say is totally right. So can I please leave now? What does your couple's quarrel have to do with me? If they could not hear my inner voice, I almost would have fooled them completely. They quickly grab my hands, totally terrified I might slip away. They explain themselves for 10 full minutes, but I remain only half convinced. Finally, the system cannot take it anymore and jumps out to speak. They really have nothing going on. What do we make of this malicious rumors? My eyes light up and everyone else's do too. Absolute drama. All right, stick with me here. Rowena and Isolde ground their teeth, vowing to hunt down whoever dared to completely fabricate those crazy rumors. Standing all the way in the back, those four parents realized their daughter's classmates were honestly not normal in the slightest. Should they transfer her to a different class or change schools entirely? Should they just quietly sneak away right now? This entire messy situation clearly had absolutely nothing to do with them anymore. If they had known, they never would have booked a room here. Who knew booking one simple room would lead to getting caught completely red-handed by their very own kid and her weird friends? Just totally unlucky. They were absolutely terrified these wild students would spread rumors back home. Should they seriously pay them some hush money? Exchanging a quick glance, they instantly fully understood the assignment. The entirety of Class 13 had absolutely no clue what massive psychological damage they inflicted on Serafina's parents. Right now, their brains were completely wired for all the juicy drama. The system's robotic voice echoed. This is a super long story. Finish this math problem first, then I will explain absolutely everything. Oh, come on, Class 13 groaned perfectly in unison, full of hyped frustration. Watching this bizarre scene only further cemented the fact for Serafina's parents that Class 13 was completely abnormal, making them incredibly determined to transfer their daughter immediately. I was so furious I stopped caring about anyone else. Holding up the study system, I absolutely roared. What exactly do you want? I literally just finished one, and now you are forcing me into another. Why must it always be math? The system calmly replied, because your math skills are indescribably atrocious. Of course I am bad. I aggressively roared back. I am clearly awful at literally every single subject. The system calmly replied, as long as you know. That is precisely why you must study hard. This was the first time everyone actually witnessed someone brutally self-roasting like this. For a moment, nobody knew whether they should laugh or cry. I know what you are thinking. Getting juicy drama teased right now and then getting blocked is totally infuriating. Honestly, what could possibly be more painful in this entire world? Everyone was ready to completely give up. After all they had witnessed my painfully slow test-solving speed. Just when they assumed today's drama was fully canceled, I suddenly spoke up. I have been grinding math for days now. Let us please switch to literature. The system nodded. Fine, I smiled brightly. I get to pick right. The system agreed. Sure. I immediately flashed a brilliantly smug smile. I suddenly shook my head and started loudly reciting an ancient poem in a sing-song voice. Goose, 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 bending its neck, singing to the open sky. Finished reciting, I loudly clapped my hands together. All right, start the story. Everyone stared at each other in bewildered shock. You can actually game the system like that. The system was furious. No way, I just shrugged. You literally just promised I could pick. Now you want to eat your words. A study system seriously playing dirty. The study system was completely terrified by my logic. This time it clearly fell into my trap. Next time it absolutely will not be fooled. Now pay close attention here. It reluctantly revealed the tea. On a dark, windy night, the school beauty and the school tyrant were fiercely fighting. They accidentally tripped and crashed into a tangled heap. Someone caught them in the act, added massive, spicy embellishments, and posted it on the school forum. Soon, everyone started shipping them, even writing wild fanfiction. The rumors spread further from the truth, suddenly and spontaneously turning them into a fake couple. I instantly had an epiphany. So this is the classic rumor effect. Say a massive lie enough times and everyone basically believes it is truth. But why is the story so short? The system loudly snorted. Because you totally half-assed your homework. Recite another poem and I will drop the highly detailed version. I flat out refused. Knowing the basic truth is completely enough. I will just casually imagine the rest myself. Rowena and Isolde honestly did not care about details. Clearing up this massive misunderstanding was their main priority, but they never expected my next inner thought would completely terrify them out of their minds. So it was fake, and here I was actually admiring their couple goals. What a pity Rowena desperately wanted to scream at me. Just forget this entire thing. Do not think it is real. Isolde and I have absolutely zero romantic connection to each other. Isolde shot Rowena a sharp look, knowing she was mentally cursing him out. He glared back, then quickly turned to face me. Do you finally believe it? Now I truly have absolutely nothing going on with Rowena? I nodded. Yeah, got it. You two were just victims of wild rumors. So can I leave now? This place is too freaky. And if you guys were just rumored, why exactly are you explaining it to me? What does that actually have to do with me? Even though Rowena and Isolde were super happy to clear things up, they strangely felt a weird sense of loss in their hearts. Standing nearby, Serafina just started laughing hysterically. The system observed its master's demeanor, slowly nodding in incredibly deep satisfaction. This is exactly the way. Stop thinking about all this useless nonsense. The most important thing is to study hard and steadily progress every day. I waited forever, then asked to leave. Serafina immediately hugged me. You are too cute. Trust me, we definitely need to see what happens next. All right, you and I are jumping right into today's absolute romantic chaos. She begged her dad to adopt me. I rolled my eyes. Give it a rest. Sure, Serafina is incredibly gorgeous, but I am just not interested. Plus, her family drama is way too messy. Before I could even reply, two angry voices screamed out together. Seeing the threat, Serafina aggressively kissed my cheek, totally asserting dominance. What exactly is your relationship with him? Watching Serafina kiss me. Those two quickly yanked me behind them, acting fiercely protective. Rowena proudly declared herself my fiancé. Isolde absolutely refused to back down. Childhood sweetheart, she snapped. Then the class rep suddenly chimed in. As your class rep, I totally reject this nonsense. Everyone stared blankly. Why are you jumping in? I felt incredibly dizzy. Why is the reliable class rep joining this crazy romantic drama? Honestly, from this moment on, he is no longer the dependable class rep in my heart. Rubbing his nose with a super gentle smile, he explained, As your class rep, I see you all displaying signs of early romance. Naturally, I must extinguish this immediately. You are young students right now. Your main mission in life is studying hard. My eyes practically bugged out staring at him. Why does it feel like he got possessed by some system suddenly demanding we study? Was he really always this ridiculously enthusiastic? Everyone nodded together. He is definitely acting weird, but he ignored my inner complaints, totally brushing off the confused stares from the crowd. His face did not flush. His heart remained perfectly calm. Smiling, he casually strolled right over to my side. Time to go. Wanted to leave, right? Let us go now. I nodded furiously. Normal or completely insane, I just wanted to escape. If I stay in this madness any longer, I will probably become completely insane too. Now watch closely because things get wild. As he reached out to pull me, Rowena aggressively charged forward, blocking him. Rowena stated calmly, "This is my lovely fiancé. I am taking him home." "Thank you." I instantly rolled my eyes. "Girl, is your brain totally fried? You are basically hallucinating." The moment she said that, Isolde aggressively pushed her way in, grabbing me. With her other hand, she thoughtfully pulled out a soft tissue and gently wiped my cheek. "This is my big bro. I am taking him home, period." I blinked in shock. This school beauty lost her mind too. Standing nearby, Serafina watched Isolde wipe my face. She could not help but pout, feeling incredibly jealous and frustrated inside. She instantly made up her mind to lure me home just to spite these two. Isolde turned her head, gazing at me with those shimmering, watery puppy eyes. Her voice was as soft as a kitten. "When we were little kids, you promised to protect me. Do not say you forgot." Seeing a stunning beauty act this cute, my defenses completely crumbled. I mumbled softly, and Isolde instantly smiled with pure, radiant joy. "Let me take you home." Just as I almost nodded, Rowena fiercely jumped out to completely destroy the sweet vibe. "No way. When we were little, you promised to marry me." My eyes practically popped out. What I swear, Rowena's brain is permanently damaged. I frantically shook her shoulders. "Are you awake?" Rowena looked back with a deeply hurt expression, gazing like a totally heartbroken lover. "Did you really just forget everything? When we were little, you held my hand and swore you would marry me." Terrified, I stuttered out, "Please do not talk nonsense. You and I both know this crowd was eating it up, hyped to the max. Today's romantic drama feast is absolute gold." Serafina hurriedly yanked me back, screaming at Rowena, "Stop spouting total nonsense. Cannot you see you scared him stupid?" Seeing my completely dumbfounded state, she sadly averted her eyes. "Do you really not remember anything?" But her fierce spirit quickly returned. "If you forgot, I will simply make you remember. Anyway, nobody else is stealing you." She forced a tragic, fake, heartbroken smile. "It is perfectly fine. If you forgot, never mind. It was no big deal." Looking at her pitiful acting, the audience's hearts practically melted. I faked sympathy, but internally I screamed, "Why are you secretly smiling? You are completely destroying your cool character setting." Rowena's expression instantly froze. Trying extremely hard to suppress her laughter, Serafina reached out, pinching my cheek. "Why are you so incredibly cute?" Before I could even react, I got forcefully dragged away. "Let us bail fast," Serafina panicked. "No way," Rowena desperately screamed back. "You cannot leave yet." The hyped crowd demanded more spicy drama. Watching these three aggressively tug at me, the atmosphere turned strangely twisted. This scene is totally wrong. I just want to go home. These girls are absolutely terrifying, just as the three hit a deadlock, refusing to yield. "So what do you and I make of this?" Even the background parents finally spoke up, smiling warmly. "Stick with me here. You guys haven't eaten yet, right? Let's eat." Serafina eagerly nodded. Yes, the others had zero objections, agreeing instantly. Seeing it all settled so fast, I totally screamed inside my head, "No way. I want to go home." Serafina just smiled and dragged me away. Everyone shouted together, "Your opinion absolutely does not matter." And just like that, I was helplessly dragged to dinner. Afterward, Serafina's parents even treated the whole group to sweet desserts. So there I was, forced to absolutely stuff myself with sweet pastries. Finally, Serafina's dad loudly cleared his throat. "You are all Sarah's close friends. Next month she is going on a fun trip. Would you all like to join her? I will cover all the expenses." Class 13 suddenly had a huge revelation. Oh, her dad is totally bribing us to stay quiet. A completely free trip. This deal is an absolute steal. Plus, with Serafina watching them, nobody would dare gossip anyway. So everyone happily agreed. "Thank you so much," Uncle, her dad casually waved. "No need to be polite, you are Sarah's friends." I just slumped right onto the table, quietly mumbling, "I want to go home." So badly. I really want to go home. Hearing my endless complaints, the group totally snickered. Serafina stood up and pulled me up. I will take you home. I nodded super fast. Finally, I can leave. But as I stood, Isolde and Rowena suddenly stood up too. Seeing those two, I completely panicked inside. Not this again. Isolde, catching my thoughts, just awkwardly rubbed her nose. Rowena just fixed her hair, pretending she heard absolutely nothing. Now watch this carefully. Serafina's dad got a driver for us. The whole class watched Serafina pull me inside while Rowena and Isolde followed right behind. The others were endlessly jealous. They totally wanted to hear my inner voice too. Then suddenly the class rep hopped right into the car. The whole group got incredibly hyped. This car ride is going to be pure entertainment. Surrounded by them inside the car, I desperately wanted to hide my face, praying I could just turn completely invisible. Oh my gosh, why did they all have to join us? This vibe is way too weird. I am suffocating here, hearing my inner monologue. Everyone inside the car could barely hold back their giggles. I kept ranting internally the entire drive, yet everyone else stayed bizarrely calm. Well, the system finally snapped first. It glared right at me. Can you shut up, so annoying? I stayed totally stubborn. No way I will keep complaining. The system just gave me a look. Save your energy, you still have homework when we get back. I instantly played dumb. Wait, what homework? Why do I know absolutely nothing? The system flashed an evil smirk. Stop faking it. Once you are home, you must finish it. Hearing that, I just completely lost it. I am absolutely not doing it. I am completely exhausted today. Will you ever let me rest? The system just sneered. You look like you have plenty of energy to me. I angrily huffed, cursing it inside my head. Why am I stuck with this incredibly annoying system? You and I both know this feeling, right? The system just grinned. Come on, we are stuck together until the big university exams are over. I broke down completely, grabbing my head, shutting my eyes, and just pretending to sleep. In a total daze, I dreamt that system turned into an actual demon. It locked me inside a dark room, forcing me to study endlessly. I could not go out at all. If I resisted even slightly, I was punished. I suddenly jolted awake, grabbing my chest and panting heavily. Thank goodness it was just a nightmare. That completely terrified me. Seeing my panicked expression, everyone quickly gathered around with deep concern. What's wrong? Just a nightmare. I waved my hand. I'm totally fine. I am fine. I just dreamt the system trapped me inside a dark room, forcing me to study. If I refused, it punished me, absolutely terrifying. I blinked rapidly. Rowena's face was totally full of question marks. Isolde also looked super confused. System panicked. Is that seriously how you see me? You are going way too far. I calmed myself down, speaking with real difficulty. It is hard to explain. In novels, those crazy systems always threaten their hosts, forcing total obedience. The system coldly snorted. Even though I really want to do exactly that, I instantly cut it off. I knew it. You absolutely want to threaten me. You totally want to lock me up and force me to study. You are a truly evil system. Hearing this, the system furiously hopped around the room. Hey, stop talking such absolute nonsense. This system is officially certified and completely proper. No shady business here. I instantly seized on that crucial detail. Then you are absolutely not allowed to threaten me, and you cannot force me to study. The system simply nodded. I instantly grew way bolder. Then what if I skip my homework? The system slowly narrowed its eyes. You know the maid at your house, right? And her son? I was curious. What about him? The system smiled coldly, looking incredibly smug. Finish your homework and I will tell you. I blurted out, oh my gosh. I instantly regretted saying that out loud. Because 3 pairs of eyes were staring directly at me, I hurriedly forced a smile. Nothing? Seriously, nothing? It is nothing. So what do you and I take away here? They just nodded, understanding. I looked absolutely bewildered. But hey, at least they don't think I'm crazy. All right, let's dive back in. I turned to negotiate with the system. Can't you drop just a tiny hint first? The system stayed totally stoic. Sure thing. Once you finish that homework, I'll reveal everything instantly. Seeing its absolutely obnoxious attitude, I ground my teeth. Forget it, I don't want to know. The system just shrugged. Yeah, good for you. I got furiously mad, turning my head away and grumbling to myself. What's the big deal anyway? I literally do not care. Those 3 heard my internal whining and immediately realized, oh, he desperately wants to know. Under 3 minutes later, I completely surrendered. Fine. I'll do it. Happy now? The system flashed a massive, triumphant smile. Deal? Pleasure doing business! I snapped back angrily. Such a pleasure! Serafina watched my grumpy face and simply could not hold back the urge to pinch my cheek, even knowing it wasn't exactly polite. Her hand just moved way faster than her brain. She totally pinched me. My eyes practically bugged out. "What are you doing?" Serafina just coughed, grinning brightly. "You are way too cute. I honestly couldn't control myself from pinching you." I squinted, totally suspicious. Is couldn't control myself even supposed to be used like that? But hey, a compliment is a compliment. I smiled back. "You are cute too, even if it sounded like basic everyday politeness." "Now watch this." Serafina was absolutely thrilled, stepping forward, unable to resist wanting to kiss me. Rowena was lightning fast, tossing a throw pillow right between us. Then Isolde blocked my front completely. "Classmate Sue, please have at least some self-respect." Serafina smiled brilliantly, totally provoking her. "Why should I? I am a girl, so what if I kiss him?" Rowena just glared daggers right back. "Your emotions are obviously unstable. Do not ruin my fiancé." I immediately rolled my eyes, groaning. "Guys, can we please drop the whole fiancé thing?" Rowena pouted, clearly displeased. Isolde shot Rowena a fierce glare, shielding me completely. "Please, everyone just stay far away from my big bro." Both Rowena and Serafina snapped back in perfect unison. "On what grounds?" Isolde curled her lips into a super smug smile. "On the grounds that he's my big bro. He promised he would protect me for my entire life. I am the most important person to him," Rowena coldly snorted. "I am still his fiancé." Meanwhile, Serafina's eyes practically burned with intense fire. But I actually kissed Felix more than once. Everyone's head instantly filled with massive question marks. Up front, the driver on his phone call could not help but seriously worry for his boss. He genuinely wondered if the boss knew his daughter was diving straight into early romance and already had a whole pile of love rivals. Would he completely pass out from anger? On the other end, Serafina's dad was furiously mad. He desperately wanted to hang up the phone, but somehow managed to restrain himself. Sure, he was a little worried about his daughter's early romance, but it had to be fake, right? She had literally never dated anyone before. Starting all this today, she was probably just acting out because she was mad at him. He mentally convinced himself. "You and I hear this right. Through the phone, he clearly caught Felix be my boyfriend. I will tell my parents to adopt you and my super rich grandparents too. They are incredibly wealthy too." Serafina's dad almost lost his entire mind, but he forcefully swallowed the shock. His little girl actually likes that boy. He wasn't totally opposed, but the kid clearly hadn't caught on and way too many rivals were chasing him down. Could his daughter actually defeat them all? Yep, it was definitely time for Dad to step right in. He needed to pass down his ultimate secret manual to his daughter. The master guide on how to court your absolute crush. Hearing Serafina's bold words, I was so shocked I physically could not speak. Did I hear that right? Definitely did. My brain must be half asleep. Why did I just hear Serafina confess to me? That has to be fake. I clearly remember she already likes someone else, 100% fake. I definitely misheard her. I had to. Serafina raised a curious eyebrow. "I have someone I like. Why don't I know about this mysterious crush? Just a rumor. Whatever, right now the most important mission is luring him back to my house. Bringing a priceless treasure like him home will be so incredibly fun." She smiled sweetly and doubled down. "No, I am telling the absolute truth. I really like you." My ears instantly started ringing loudly. The system definitely forced me to study way too much lately. Pushed so hard that my brain is no longer functioning normally at all. I literally just hallucinated 2 confessions. Just as expected, I cannot study forever. I seriously need a break. The system heard my chaotic thoughts and totally rolled its digital eyes, instantly blaming me. What does any of this have to do with me? But wow, teenagers nowadays really play hard. Thinking about the whole messy situation, it muttered internally. My master probably will not be fooled by these super sweet words, right? It looked at me anxiously, but seeing my completely dumbfounded face, it felt satisfied. Perfect. Zero blushing, no fluttering heart whatsoever. His main mission right now is strictly to study hard. It is best if he completely ignores these weird, messy romance things. Then Serafina spoke up again. "I genuinely feel like I'm liking you more and more." My eyes practically bugged out. Awesome! 3 whole times. I guess I really did not mishear her. Looking at Serafina's incredibly radiant smile just as I opened my mouth, Rowena and Isolde yelled out simultaneously. Meanwhile, the class rep sharply pushed his glasses right up his nose. And that's where we leave it. That is a total no-go, classmate Sue. Our mission is studying. Early romance, strictly prohibited. Let's dive in. He just smiled out the window and announced, "Driver, we're here. We're getting off." But the driver wasn't stopping. His young miss had literally just confessed her feelings, and this clueless guy hadn't even given her a proper answer yet. Should he keep cruising around just to give his young miss a bit more private romantic time? So he played totally deaf and kept driving, looking completely determined not to stop without the young miss explicitly ordering him to do so. Serafina gave the driver a satisfied look. "Awesome job, expect a huge raise when we return." Catching his young miss's approving look, the driver felt absolutely thrilled, steering the car with total dedication. I literally watched my house disappearing behind us. Why were we passing it? I quickly faced Serafina. "Hey Sarah, we passed my house." She just nodded coolly. "I know, but you haven't answered yet." I immediately shook my head. "Classmate Sue, we're just students. Dating right now is totally inappropriate. My parents forbid early romance, so let's drop it, all right?" My system eagerly agreed. "Exactly, your top priority right now is studying super hard." I helplessly glared at this party-crashing system. Aold smiled super brightly and chimed in. "Classmate Sue, can we exit now?" Rowena laughed joyfully. "Ha ha ha, I knew it! Felix totally remembers me." That's why he rejected her confession. Serafina completely ignored them, looking right at me. "Just call me Sarah." I totally rolled my eyes. Was now really the time for nicknames, but outwardly I obediently answered, "Sarah." Serafina smiled so widely her eyes curved into happy little crescent moons. "Yes, Felix." She finally ordered the driver to turn around. He instantly pulled a quick U-turn, heading straight back to my house. "Watch closely." The car stopped, and I almost stepped out when Serafina called, "My dad invited everyone on a trip." Remember, I was totally confused. When did that happen? Why couldn't I remember? The system quickly explained. "It happened while you were screaming about going home." I almost refused until Serafina started acting super cute. "Felix, you won't say no, right?" Seeing this absolute beauty acting cute, my spine literally vanished. I nodded, instantly agreeing. Serafina happily escorted me out. Rowena Aold and our class rep immediately hopped out right behind me. Serafina glanced at them. "You live here too," Aold proudly answered. "My house is here, we bought a villa." Rowena nodded. "My family actually owns a villa here too." After announcing that, she looked at me ready to speak. I instantly hitched my backpack up and completely bolted. "I'm out of here. Who knows what crazy dramatic fits you guys will throw next. Whatever happens, staying home is safest." The others exchanged super confused looks. Are we really that scary? After I vanished, Aold and Rowena also left, leaving the class rep standing there completely alone. Inside the car, Serafina saw this and smiled. "Class rep, let me give you a ride." He curled his lips happily and stepped right inside. He smiled. "Thank you." Serafina waved her hand dismissively. "No need to be polite." After dropping the class rep off, Serafina finally returned home, only to find 4 people standing completely stiff in her living room. Serafina casually sat on the sofa. "Are you planning to be honest with me, Mom? You and I both know she's panicking." Her mom stammered wordlessly before frantically shoving Serafina's dad forward. Sarah let Dad explain. She claimed she wanted to tell the truth earlier, but Dad had totally disagreed. Dad, realizing he was completely sold out, he saw the other 3 secretly cheering him on. He had absolutely no choice but to bite the bullet and bravely step right up. He stammered for ages before suddenly blurting out loud, "Sarah, do you actually like that classmate?" "Dad can help you." The other 3 stood completely dumbfounded. Why did the topic jump to this? They found it bizarre, but Serafina was instantly intrigued, looking over. "Dad, you have a method?" Her dad confidently sat beside her. "Of course, back then I managed to woo someone as incredibly difficult as your little great-grandpa. Winning over your little classmate will be total cake." The little great-grandpa watched Serafina's dad acting completely unserious and helplessly face-palmed in absolute pure exasperation. Serafina's mom and the little grandma looked over, finding the entire dramatic situation completely hilarious. The Sue family literally started holding a strategic meeting on courting someone. Her dad proudly summarized, "To woo a boy, you need thick skin, deep romance, and a huge willingness to spend money." Serafina looked over, listening to him sound like a seasoned pro. "Dad, did you court lots of people back then?" He had barely opened his mouth when a piercing glare locked onto him. Meeting his lover's intense eyes, he immediately slammed the emergency brakes in sheer panic. Of course not, Dad only ever pursued him. What a save. Let's see what happens next time. Let's dive right in. He stared at the little great-grandpa affectionately. Watching them, Serafina truly wanted to gag. She had no idea her dad was this disgustingly cheesy. Seeing them exchange those super sticky honey-dripping looks, she totally gave up on asking her dad for advice. She quickly turned toward her mom. Mom, got any good ideas? Her mom's face turned completely red, frantically waving her hands. My personal method is definitely not suitable for you. You guys are just way too young. It is inappropriate. Serafina, absolutely burning with intense curiosity, leaned in closer, excitedly asking, "What is it exactly?" Her mom, face glowing bright red, whispered right into Serafina's ear. Serafina's face instantly flushed deep crimson. Noticing her shock, her mom sighed. "I told you it was totally inappropriate." Serafina touched her burning cheeks, glanced at the 4 people in the living room, and dropped a blunt sentence. "I am heading upstairs. I completely understand the whole situation now." Her dad quickly asked, "You are not opposed?" Serafina shot back. "Why on earth would I object? Even if I actually did, would you guys ever break up?" Her parents tightly hugged their respective partners, shaking their heads frantically. "Well, there you go. All right, I am officially going back upstairs." Serafina dropped the line and bolted up. Meanwhile, inside my room, I was violently wrestling with massive homework piles. I cannot write anymore. I seriously cannot write a single word more. Why is there so much? The system stood right beside me, wielding a tiny little stick. What do you mean, too much? It has been this amount for years. You are failing because you simply are not working hard enough. I glared at the glowing system with overwhelming frustration. It instantly smacked me with its stick. Write faster. I clutched my head, staring pitifully at the massive mountain of exercises before me. This is too hard. Why must I be permanently bound to this annoying system I want to unbind right now? Give me a refund, its voice echoed like a pure demon. Now watch this closely. The system smirked and offered one single escape. I got so hyped I almost leaped right out of my chair. What? Tell me right now. The system slowly dropped a single bombshell. If you successfully get accepted into a top Ivy League university, I will finally unbind completely. I instantly slammed my head down and started writing like a complete maniac. Honestly, I should just stick to my endless homework. The system, seeing me finally quiet down and focus, could not stop its tiny mouth from curling upwards. Right outside, Martha, the maid, stood pressing her phone to the door. Her eyes welled with proud tears, her hushed voice literally vibrating with pure, uncontained excitement. "Madame, did you hear that? The young master is doing his homework. He is actually taking his studies seriously. Our young master has truly grown up today." On the video call, a stunningly beautiful woman watching her son bury his tired head in bitter studying instantly burst into dramatic tears. She grabbed the man beside her, her voice choking with heavy emotion. "Honey, our Felix has finally started studying." The man emotionally wiped his eyes. "Oh, wife, our son finally has a bright future. He is finally willing to study properly." Pushing her husband aside, she waved frantically at Martha. "Hurry up, prepare some delicious, highly nutritious food to replenish our dear Felix's energy. He is working so incredibly hard today." "Yes, madam, I will handle it immediately." Hanging up the call, Martha quickly tiptoed away, gently closing the heavy door behind her. The system glanced toward the hallway and simply could not help but exclaim, "Now I completely understand why my host is so incredibly lazy. His parents spoil him to the heavens, terrified he might get exhausted studying for a single minute. You saw that right? Anyone would be super lazy." It turned back towards me as I desperately wrestled with a brutal math problem. Hearing my loud internal screaming and wailing, its digital brain practically started buzzing. It covered its ears, genuinely refusing to listen to my pathetic screaming any longer. "Oh my God, why is this math so ridiculously hard? Who on earth actually invented mathematics? I need to lock that villain up and force them to solve equations every single day. I do not want to do this anymore. I want to sleep. Why is my life so miserable?" The system finally exploded. "All right, shut your mouth." I stared at the system pitifully. "I am already this tragic and you still scold me?" Seeing my tearful eyes, the system finally swallowed its harsh scolding back down. Suddenly my phone rang. An unknown number flashed. I picked it up, confused. "Who is this?" The other end of the line remained silent for 2 seconds. Then a gentle, pleasant voice finally came through. "It is me." Sadly, my brain was already tortured into a tangled mess. I completely failed to recognize the voice. The line went totally silent for another awkward few seconds. Just look at the caller name. I stared blankly at the unknown number, spacing out for 2 seconds. The other side instantly reacted. You never saved my number. I finally calmed down, hearing her clearly now. Isolde, the other end, quickly shifted to a joyful tone. Yes, me, I asked, completely confused. Why did you call me? Just to see if I saved your number, I chuckled. You are not even here, you know. Suddenly, 2 sharp taps hit the balcony glass. I walked over, completely shocked to see Isolde standing right there. Trust me, you will want to see what happens next. Stick with me here. I open the door and Isolde is literally standing right there in front of me. How did she get in? She just points to the villa next door, claiming we are neighbors. I gulp hard. She actually climbed over. Isolde peeks at my phone and complains that I never even saved her number. I glare right back. Is now really the time for that? The crazy part is she scaled a wall. Was she not scared of falling? Hearing me worry, she happily brushes it off. Seriously, why is she here? She points at my phone, demanding I save her number first. Rolling my eyes, I quickly type it right in. Saved. Seeing her name pop up on the screen, a cute little smile escapes her. She came just to tutor me. I almost refuse, but honestly, I need help, so I invite her right inside. I am absolutely desperate to finish this mountain of homework as fast as humanly possible. I pull up a chair right next to her. Flashing a huge smile, I tell teacher Isolde to begin. Sitting in my room, Isolde is already feeling pretty shy. Calling her my teacher just makes her completely embarrassed. Her face turns bright red. When she speaks, her voice is incredibly soft and sweet. I sit there listening to her explain the whole problem. Does it make sense? Honestly, my mind is completely blank. Watch closely here. She totally knows I am clueless, but her gentle voice does not change one single bit. She offers to explain again. I think to myself, this girl is honestly way too sweet. Way better than my annoying system. I completely failed to understand, yet she never scolds. The system would have absolutely threatened and nagged me all day long. Meanwhile, the system sneers in utter disgust. It bets she will lose her mind in 10 minutes. No, just 1 single minute before she snaps completely. It knows I am a terrible student, but after watching her patiently explain it multiple times, I actually understand the maths. Amazingly, she never gets angry. She stays completely calm and perfectly patient the entire time. Even the system admits Isolde might be a better guide than it is. Her emotional stability easily beats a literal machine. Finally halfway done, noticing I am getting pretty exhausted, Isolde happily suggests we take a quick little break. I smile and nod. Teacher Isolde is the absolute best, gentle, smart, and she actually lets me rest up. Way better than my annoying system. The nearby system rolls its digital eyes, totally ignoring my insults since I am finally studying. Suddenly, a loud knock hits my door. Felix, Auntie Martha brought some fresh soup just for you. I know what you are thinking. Panic mode activated, I yank Isolde up and tell her to hide immediately. A girl secretly hanging in my room, Martha will totally snitch to my parents, and that means a massive, epic headache. I drag Isolde around the entire room in chaos, finally pulling her right next to my bed. I point straight under it. Hide, glancing at my pink fluffy rug, she tries not to smile. Am I really that terrifying? I am sweating bullets, as anxious as a cat on a hot tin roof. Terrified Martha will walk in and discover my secret guest. I frantically push her. Seriously, hurry and get under. She is moving way too slow. I pat her shoulder, begging her to move faster before we are caught. If Martha sees this, my parents will absolutely scold me until I question my own reason for existing. Watching me panic like a startled little rabbit with my limbs flailing, Isolde actually laughs. I stare completely, utterly speechless. I am losing my absolute mind here, and she just laughs. If she was not my tutor, I would be incredibly mad. Isolde barely manages to hide her smile. She starts to speak, but Martha calls out from the hallway again. Felix, are you still in there? My panic absolutely skyrockets. I pull Isolde down to the floor, shooting her a fierce, desperate glare. Get under there right now. Checking the dusty space, then looking at my incredibly puffed out, angry cheeks, Isolde finally crawls right under the bed. Seeing her finally hidden out of sight, I breathe a massive sigh of relief. I open up, smiling brightly. Handing me the tray, I tell her I have homework left. Martha just stares at my sweaty face and frowns. What is wrong? Why all the sweat? I reach up and quickly touch my forehead. Sure enough, drenched in pure panic sweat, grabbing the tray, I insist I have tons of heavy homework left to finish. So what do you and I make of this? Martha totally buys my excuse, leaving me alone with my secret tutor. She nodded warmly. Okay, Felix, but don't study too late. It just isn't healthy. I nodded fast, shutting the door. Stick with me. I let out a massive sigh of relief and completely collapsed onto the floor. Martha stared at the closed door, literal tears of deep emotion welling up in her eyes. Our young master has finally become so sensible. He is actually doing his homework. She just had to report this absolutely massive, wonderful news straight to the madam and the boss. Grabbing her phone, Martha eagerly called the madam, carefully walking far away so she absolutely wouldn't disturb me. The second the call connected, she excitedly blurted out, "Madam, the young master is doing his homework. He has been at it this entire time. Our young master has truly grown up." From the other side of the line came a heavy, emotional sob. "Felix is actually studying. This is simply wonderful. I need to go back. I must return right this instant." Right after saying that, she abruptly hung up. Meanwhile, inside a luxurious private island villa, a handsome middle-aged guy watched his wife frantically packing her bags. He just had to ask, "Honey, are you seriously planning to head back right now?" The gorgeous woman strapping on her backpack nodded firmly. "Of course, studying is just so incredibly hard. I must return to protect our son's health." The man instantly remembered his wife's insane cooking masterpieces that literally blew up their entire kitchen. To completely guarantee his son kept a peaceful environment to study, he very quickly jumped in. "Now watch closely, honey, our boy finally decided to study. If you return and smother him, what if he gets totally annoyed and runs away?" "What then?" Hearing that logic, the woman who was about to make a call instantly froze. "Honey, is that really true?" The man stood up, pulled his wife down to sit, and gently analyzed the whole situation. "Don't you know your own son's temper? If you rush back to pressure him and he completely abandons his studies, what will we even do?" Hearing those exact words, the woman instantly calmed down. "Honey, I think you're right. Let's stick to our original plan." The man smiled and nodded. "Whatever my wife says totally goes, but I'm still uneasy leaving him home alone." "It is fine. Martha is right there." Thanks to her husband's gentle coaxing, she finally felt reassured. Meanwhile, I sat slumped on the floor, completely forgetting that Isolde was still hiding right under the bed. She lay under there, waiting forever, but never actually heard Martha enter the room. She only heard the loud sound of the door closing. The room quickly sank into a bizarre, eerie silence. Unable to hold back, she carefully poked her head out to check. Martha really seemed to have completely left. Right then, she crawled out, staring at the pathetic mess sitting on the floor. "You and I know what's coming," seeing my total panic. Her mouth slightly curled into a smirk. "Is it really that scary?" I nodded vigorously. "Very scary. Extremely scary. An extra girl randomly popping right into my bedroom. If Martha found out, she'd absolutely snitch straight to my parents. They would immediately fly back and interrogate me non-stop with endless questions. That is pure horror." Isolde, somehow hearing my inner panic, just raised an eyebrow slightly. "You're seriously that afraid of your parents?" She reached out and gently patted my head. There, don't be scared." I gave her a weird look, instantly snapping back, "I am definitely not scared. And another thing," I violently swatted her hand away, emphasizing clearly, "Do not pat my head." Isolde's teasing smile deepened. Okay, I won't pat it next time." I stood up from the floor, conveniently handing that premium bowl of bird's nest to her. "Teacher, thanks for tutoring me. This is for you." Isolde took the bowl, her eyes totally sparkling. "Just this, nothing else, is there any more? This is my late-night snack for today. You know I'm giving you my entire midnight treat. What more could you honestly want?" I looked at the fancy bird's nest in her hands, reaching right out to take it back, but she smoothly dodged me. She smiled very brightly. "I actually like this very much. Thank you." I looked at her completely helplessly. One second you refuse it, the next you totally do. Truly bizarre. Isolde just pretended not to hear me. Holding the tray in one hand, she quickly pulled me to the desk with the other. I sat down in the chair. She quickly urged, "Drink it up. Once you're done, I'll gladly teach you the rest. After we completely finish, I get to hear the juicy drama about Martha's son, right?" Isolde looked into my eager, expectant eyes. I took a sip and praised it. "It's seriously so good." I smiled proudly. Of course, Martha's cooking skills are absolutely top tier. Right after I finished drinking, Isolde calmly set the bowl aside and began fully concentrating on tutoring me. With the absolute allure of premium drama dangling right in front of me, no matter how exhausted I was, I gritted my teeth and persevered. Finally, under her amazing dedicated guidance, I completely finished all the homework. I excitedly declared, "I'm finally done," looking at the notebook right in front of me. Isolde smiled. "You did great. You finished up so fast." I just glanced at the pitch-black sky outside the window, turned to Isolde, and sighed. "You really don't have to force fake compliments like that. I know my own level." I smiled softly. "What do you and I think? Is it slightly rude kicking a guest out right after tutoring ends? Stick with me here, you guys." Isolde smiled brightly, just waiting to see what crazy excuse I'd invent. Super awkward. But for the sake of catching my show, I risked everything. I gently tested the waters. "Pretty dark outside, right?" Isolde held back a laugh. Her eyes sparkled as she nodded. "Very dark. Shouldn't you go home? Your aunt and uncle might worry." "You live alone. Better head back early. What if a burglar breaks in?" Isolde froze for a second, then let out a helpless laugh. "A burglar? Do you know how expensive houses are around here?" I stared, totally deadpan. But what if it's a master thief, praying she'd buy this completely stupid excuse? Isolde practically burst out laughing. "Then I definitely can't leave. Master thieves are super dangerous. What if I get hurt?" She actually used my own words against me. I racked my brain but couldn't find a better comeback. Right before I kicked her out, Isolde stood up. "I'm leaving." I instantly beamed a huge smile. "I'll walk you out." Isolde saw the pure joy on my face, gave a helpless sigh, and walked straight toward the balcony. I followed behind with wide eyes. "Why go to the balcony? Aren't you terrified Martha will catch us?" "I came this way." I peeked over the edge. The crazy height made me dizzy. "Maybe you shouldn't." Before I could finish, Isolde casually leaped across. I stood there completely stunned, eyes practically bugging out. So athletic. She cleared that easily. Absolute peak. Isolde, hearing my mental praise, couldn't help laughing. "Go back and rest right now." I desperately wanted to get back to my show. I quickly called out good night. Then I sprinted to my room. Isolde watched me leave, helplessly shaking her head. He loves drama that much. Watch closely, guys. Just as she turned around, she bumped into the one person she definitely didn't want to see. Her smile instantly vanished, seeing Rowena casually leaning against her door. She marched right over and pulled the other girl away. "Why are you here?" Rowena snorted coldly. "And you, why did you go looking for Felix?" Isolde glanced at Rowena, the corners of her mouth curling into a cocky smirk. "Yeah, I found Felix. What's it to you?" Rowena slammed the door shut. She blocked Isolde's path, her face twisted in pure fury. "Why were you looking for Felix?" Isolde's eyes flashed with a cold blade-like glare. "None of your business." Rowena clenched her fists, turning green with absolute rage. "I forbid you from seeing Felix." Isolde stood tall, radiating ice. "Based on what? Who do you think you are?" Rowena's eyes immediately flashed with a fierce, burning arrogance. "Because I am his fiancé." Isolde sneered coldly, her gaze turning completely to ice. "You literally just made that up in your head." Felix never acknowledged that. Rowena, remembering Felix forgot their past, looked genuinely hurt for a second, but quickly masked it with ice. "None of your concern. He made me a promise." Isolde firmly refused to back down. "He also promised to protect me forever." The two girls fiercely clashed, neither willing to yield a single inch. "You and I felt that tension, right?" Suddenly my voice echoed out. "Oh my God, so spicy." The school tyrant scaling walls in the dead of night just to find the school beauty. And the beauty actually pinned her against the wall. Who knew our tough school tyrant was secretly a total softie in love? I'm dying laughing. Staying up late delivers the best drama. I kept happily mumbling in my head. But these two are real, right? Why would they explain it so thoroughly to me? Am I some VIP character getting a front row seat to their couple act? Maybe they just want to keep things super secret. The tyrant probably hates public attention. She's a terrifying legend. The tyrant being the soft one, thinking about it, is just totally unbelievable. I looked over. The beauty was completely pinning the tyrant against the wall. In reality, they stood far apart, roasting each other with venomous insults. But hearing my inner voice, both of them instantly froze solid. They definitely never expected me to witness this exact scene and completely misunderstand their whole dynamic. They glared at each other with pure disgust and contempt. Then they quickly sprang apart. I was totally dumbfounded. What's wrong? Why are they standing so far apart? Are they mad? Throwing a random tantrum again? Is this couple always this insanely moody? Is dating really this exhausting? Suddenly, the system's voice echoed in my head. Dating is incredibly annoying. You become a complete fool for love. You give all your money to girls and you turn into someone you don't even recognize. Absolutely terrifying. I was totally spooked. My voice trembled. It's really that scary. The study system nodded hard. Exactly. You're still way too young right now. You honestly can't tell the difference between genuine feelings and total fakes. So what do you and I learn here? Study hard, pass exams, and get smarter. That way girls won't scam you. Let us dive in together. I completely agreed with this. Honestly, playing with my heart is whatever, but messing with my cash, absolutely unforgivable. Spot on. So back to studying, I complained. No way, I already finished all my assignments. You still haven't spilled the tea on Martha's kid. Fine, let's head back to your room and I will explain everything right now. I jumped up fast but instantly froze. 2 pairs of eyes were glaring right at me. Pure panic hit me. I froze, then sprinted away, my heart practically exploding. Oh no, they saw me. They totally saw me. Tomorrow at school, those 2 will absolutely destroy me to keep my mouth shut. Oh man, I need to transfer immediately. Hearing this, both girls instantly panicked. Then my inner voice echoed out again. Transfer schools? Wait, no. If I switch, my parents are definitely asking why. I cannot exactly say I witnessed the campus beauty and the school tyrant having a secret fling. Nope. Just pretend this never even happened. I will just act totally clueless. Yep, I am an absolute genius. Hearing I was staying put, both girls sighed in total relief. They glared at each other in disgust, saying together, "This is your fault. If Felix transfers, you are finished." Snorting coldly, they both turned away, stormed into their own rooms, and slammed the doors shut. The system seemed confused, asking if they were really that scary. I nodded hard. I literally saw that guy pinning Rowena to the wall today. If the school tyrant shows up tomorrow and bullies me, what do? Tell my parents, ugh, so frustrating. Now watch this brilliant plan. Fake sick, dodge the tyrant tomorrow. But the system instantly shook its head, vetoing everything. No way, how can a star student fake being sick to skip, I muttered. But I am no star student. The system patted my shoulder confidently. Do not worry, with my help, you will become a top-tier scholar. Soon Ivy League colleges will be begging for you. I stared at it like a complete fool. Seriously, why does this system delusionally think I am Ivy League material at all? I kept my mouth shut, terrified of sparking another lecture. This system nagged worse than my own mom, constantly buzzing in my ear. Noting my total silence, the system shouted loudly, "What is our mission?" I pouted, refusing to play along. Why shout awkward slogans? So cringe. You could absolutely wreck me, and I still would never yell that. The system saw this and immediately tossed out bait. Just hurry up. Then we can feast on Martha's family drama. Hearing about this massive tea, I instantly perked right up. Time to study hard. Besides, it is just mental screaming. Nobody else can hear it, so zero embarrassment. The system nodded, satisfied. Excellent. Our goal is... Figuring I was already invested, I relaxed and proudly shouted out, "Get into the Ivy League forever." Seeing me cooperate, the system offered a small reward so I would not go on strike. Come here, let me spill the tea. You heard that sound too, right? I excitedly checked outside the door but saw absolutely nothing. Just as I stepped out to investigate, the system urgently called me. Get back inside quickly. The juicy story is starting now. Craving that spicy drama, I slammed the door and ran back. Outside, someone stood up from the balcony corner, smiling faintly to herself. He is way too cute. She stared at the balcony cactus, gently reaching out to touch its blooming flower. Back then, he was a little scammer. Now that he is older, he has completely forgotten all of it. Touching the soft petals, she actually found her own childishness amusing. Taking one final look, she jumped down. Meanwhile, I sat perfectly surrounded by giant snack bags. Chomping on some chocolate, I anxiously pushed, "Spill the tea right now." The system watched me closely. Eating in bed is a terrible habit, but seeing my absolute hype, the system caved. Whatever, I will spoil him just this once. Push kids too hard and they rebel completely. So the gossip began. Martha's boy has a pregnant girlfriend, I instantly interrupted. Let me guess, not his baby? The system glared at me. Stop watching trashy dramas, I giggled. The baby is his, but he is clueless. He thinks she likes someone else. His mixed signals made her feel extremely insecure. Discovering her pregnancy, she was absolutely terrified he would just reject the baby entirely. She went to talk, but caught him chilling at a bar. I mumbled, "This plot is getting a little cliché, is it not?" The system glared. I quieted down, smiling. What do you and I think happens next? Let's find out. Stick with me here. Martha's son actually thought his girlfriend was running right back to her secret crush. Furious, he angrily stormed into a bar only for his girlfriend to catch him drinking with another woman. Now she was completely certain his love for her was absolutely fake. Absolutely furious, she booked a flight totally planning to escape with their baby. My eyes practically popped right out. This storyline is completely ridiculous but hilarious, exactly like those crazy romance shows where the main characters stubbornly refuse to communicate. The study system totally agreed. Yep, you humans are beyond bizarre. Just explaining things simply would fix everything. But you all love playing these silly guessing games. I felt super invested and quickly asked, when is her flight tomorrow? Hearing that, I immediately jumped out of bed and sprinted straight toward my bedroom door. The study system chased right behind me. What are you doing? Playing matchmaker? Absolutely. Since these two completely refused to talk, I must quickly deliver this shocking news to Martha while running. A few frantic steps later, I reached Martha's door, banging on it wildly and loudly shouting, "Martha, open up." Wearing cozy pajamas, she just stared at me. "Felix, what is wrong?" Without hesitating for a second, I dropped an absolute bomb. "Your son's girlfriend is pregnant and she is totally planning to escape with the baby." Martha jolted awake instantly, her eyes huge. Pregnant, and running away with the baby. Now watch this closely. She loves billionaire romance tropes, so she instantly understood. While she stood there shocked, I delivered the spectacular finishing blow. "She caught your son getting totally drunk at a bar with another girl. Her heart is completely shattered right now. She bought an airplane ticket for tomorrow, planning to take the baby far away forever." Martha instantly grabbed her phone fiercely, calling her son without stopping. After more than 10 long rings, someone finally answered. A random female voice spoke up. "Hello, who is this?" Martha answered coldly. "Check the caller name." 2 seconds of dead silence, then super enthusiastic energy suddenly erupted. "Auntie Martha." Martha interrupted the girl immediately, firmly ordering her, "Tell Toby to answer the phone right now." A moment later, a heavily drunken guy slurred softly. Martha furiously roared through the phone, "Listen here, you foolish brat! Your girlfriend is pregnant, yet you boldly went out drinking at a bar. You made her so incredibly furious she actually ran away." He froze for 2 seconds, his voice totally shaking. Mom, are you serious? Is Daisy actually pregnant right now?" Martha snorted coldly. "She is your girlfriend. How would I know? Go find her yourself. She is at the airport right now." After saying that, she hung up. Her rage instantly vanished, turning to me with such incredibly warm, sweet, motherly affection. "Thank you, Felix." I frantically waved my hands around. "It was nothing at all. I just happened to know." "Felix, seriously, thank you so much. Once that silly boy brings his wife back, I will absolutely force him to thank you personally." I quickly waved my hands again. Seriously, no need. But Martha was absolutely dead set on thanking me properly. After playfully arguing for a bit, I used having school tomorrow as the perfect excuse to quickly slip away. Martha watched me leave, gently wiping her happy tears, quietly mumbling, "The young master is truly sensible now. He even remembered getting up early for school tomorrow. He is loving studying more and more." The next morning, I sluggishly slumped onto my school desk, closing my eyes, pretending to be asleep. We both know my anxiety was skyrocketing. Yesterday was terrifying. I wonder if Rowena remembers. Will she totally throttle me? Glancing at her today, she has absolutely zero expression. She probably forgot. She probably will not beat me up. Class 13 instantly exploded. Wait, what? There is more wild drama we missed. Why does Rowena want to beat Felix up? What did he do? Did he discover another juicy secret? Oh, dang it. Why do we not live in Felix's neighborhood? Sell the house right now. I do not care if it is a loss. The whole class needs to buy houses near Felix to catch the drama. The teacher announced, "Everyone remember, absolutely no causing trouble in the exam room. If you do not want to show up, just do not." The students below completely ignored the poor teacher's words, casually replying with a few yas. "Anyway, I have never done well on a test before. I gave up a long time ago. As long as I never cheat during the exam, it will be perfectly fine. Since the system burned my sheet, I haven't dared pulling tricks, terrified that in the very next second the paper in my hands would spontaneously combust right there in the exam room. Just thinking about that insane scene gives me chills. Better to just stay honest." The homeroom teacher on the podium stared at her lazy, unmotivated students, sighed completely helplessly, picked up her lesson plans, and walked out. Class 13 noticed my inner voice had gone completely silent. They were about to leave when the study system suddenly boomed loudly, commanding its master to jump 100 places in this month's big exam. Trust me, these terrifying words made my heart almost completely stop. Where would I have the mental capacity to care about anyone else's reactions? Stick with me here, my brain absolutely short-circuited. An ultimate failing student magically jumping up 100 entire spots. Are you asking for everything I have? The system literally tempted me. There are huge rewards, you know. I instantly refused it. The mysterious system swept its gaze across the entire classroom, finally locking onto one male student with a cryptic smile. Did you know someone in this very class had their little sister taken away? The whole room fell completely stunned. My eyes went totally wide as absolute realization hit me hard. I actually know who this is. Tristan's little sister. I clearly remember my parents discussing this tragedy. Back then, 8-year-old Tristan took his tiny 5-year-old sister outside to play. Just one tiny moment of distraction and she completely vanished. This awful incident dealt a devastating blow to his family. Tristan has lived with heavy guilt ever since losing his sister. You really know about this? I nervously asked the system. It replied boldly. The system proudly puffed out its digital chest. There is absolutely nothing this incredible system does not know. I know exactly where she is right now, and I know exactly who took her. Tristan suddenly stared at me, his wide eyes shining bright, terrified of missing even a single clue about his lost sister. Now watch closely. The entire class stared tensely, praying the system dropped the truth, especially his sweet childhood friend, Chloe. Growing up together with Tristan, she knew that completely adorable little girl and loved her so dearly. Ever since she vanished, their parents watched the normally super cheerful Tristan turn totally silent and completely lost in thought. Chloe caught Tristan multiple times hiding in his room crying alone. He even pushed himself to total exhaustion out of immense guilt. The time she stopped him, seeing Tristan completely broken down. His emotional eyes fiercely red, screaming out loud, "Why wasn't I the one missing? Why did this happen? It was all my fault." Hearing fresh news about his sister, Chloe's eyes suddenly sparkled brightly. Tristan finally wouldn't have to punish himself anymore. She looked at me desperately, hoping the system would reveal the ultimate truth. I anxiously shouted out loud, "Then hurry up! Tell us!" The system simply demanded, "If you boost your rank by 100 spots on this monthly exam, I will tell." Tristan clenched his fists incredibly tight, completely oblivious to any pain he felt. One frustrated classmate just could not hold back their anger. "I really want to yell right now, but I am holding back." They negotiated gently. "Can you just tell us first?" "If you tell us, I swear I will study like an absolute maniac." The system shook its head, refusing completely. I could not hide it. Do you even have any basic humanity? That little girl's actual fate is completely unknown right now. You and I both know how infuriating that is, right? Saying it isn't human, that incredibly freezing response made me want to instantly uninstall this annoying thing forever. The system, realizing I was on the absolute edge of exploding, hurriedly added, "She is perfectly safe. Jump 100 ranks and her exact location is yours." I stared deeply at the system. "Can you totally guarantee she is safe?" The study system nodded. "I fully guarantee it. Swear an oath. If you fail, you will be struck by magic lightning and rank absolute worst in every final exam. I swear it right now." The glowing system sighed helplessly. "I swear I guarantee the complete safety of Tristan's sister. If I fail, may magic lightning strike me and rank me absolute lowest in every single exam. Is that good enough?" I gritted my teeth. "I will trust you this once." Hearing this, everyone breathed a huge sigh of relief. As long as the tiny girl was safe, that was absolutely all that mattered. Tristan relaxed significantly, but deeper worries still remained. With my current skill level, could I genuinely jump 100 ranks so fast? Right as he was panicking, his cell phone buzzed loudly. The secret group chat, eavesdropping on the mandate of heaven's inner voice, suddenly exploded. Can Felix do it? He definitely can. Even if Felix struggles, do we not still have our amazing class rep? If those two tutor him, it will absolutely work out. Chloe's hopeful words felt like a tiny rock hitting a giant pond. It barely rippled because everyone knew exactly how impossible I was to teach. But absolutely nobody had the heart to ruin her mood, universally chiming into the active group chat. Penelope suddenly texted the group, "If it fails, we can just use technology to help. You mean cheating. Do not make it sound so bad. This is just helping out a classmate. Keep dreaming." Back then, I handed him a cheat sheet and the system instantly burned it to ash. You honestly think basic technology escapes the system's all-seeing eyes? Those exact words plunged the chat into complete silence. Suddenly, some absolute genius jumped right out. What if we pool our money and bribe other students to skip the exam? Boom! Felix instantly jumps up 100 ranks without even trying. I think this plan is totally brilliant. I agree, completely. Are your brains empty? He has a magic system. Do you really think it won't notice? So what do you and I make of this crazy mess? Nothing works. The only option left is strictly cram. Tutoring him starting right this exact second. We must teach him to strictly secure points on all basics. Stick with me here. Jumping 100 ranks should be totally fine. I think this plan works. Everyone in the room nodded together. Tristan stared at the group chat messages, seeing all his friends thinking incredibly hard about this problem. His eyes watered up, fingers shaking slightly while typing out his reply. Thank you guys so much. Do not worry. We are classmates. Your little sister is our little sister too. If she goes missing, of course, we are going to risk everything we have to find her. Exactly right. We must find our little sister and bring her home. Tristan, do not worry. The class rep and Isolde are absolute academic geniuses. They can totally tutor Felix now. Felix might be pretty lazy sometimes, but he will absolutely never run away from this. Just look at how hard the guy is studying today. Hearing Serafina speak, everybody turned right toward me. They saw me burying my entire head into grueling study. If only they could not hear my inner voice screaming out, it would be perfect. Oh my gosh, why is this so incredibly hard? If I knew this, I would have actually studied before. This is too tough. System, can we please negotiate a little bit? Watch closely now. How about just jumping 10 ranks instead? The system's robotic voice glitched out with pure shock. That is an awful discount, dropping 100 ranks down to 10. Do you think I am selling cabbages at the market? Even farmers' markets do not haggle like this. I laughed awkwardly. Then do you have any special items like a magic pill making me an instant genius, or maybe a secret dimension where time flows totally differently than on the outside? The system completely agreed. I do, but you cannot access those items right now. Why? Because someone is way too lazy. Because you refuse to study hard. You completely lack qualifications for them. I instantly zipped my mouth totally shut, quietly asking what my reward is for jumping 100 ranks. Only the information about Tristan's sister, I completely accepted my new tragic fate. I had absolutely no choice but studying bitterly. Why is it when these words are separated, I know every single one, but put them all together and they look like an alien language? Just as I felt completely lost, Isolde walked over. What do you not understand? I will teach you. Seeing Isolde standing there, I felt like looking at a true savior. Such a good person. May all good people find peace forever. May good people have 8 wonderful kids in one go. Isolde's mouth twitched violently at that. 8 kids at once. I will totally pass on that. Rowena simply could not hold back her laughter. Isolde, you actually have days like this too. Everyone in class tried desperately to hide their laughter. Even though laughing right now was super inappropriate, they just could not hold it all in, watching the entire class shaking with holding back laughter. Let us pause for a second. Are they having a collective episode? Are they seriously losing their minds this time around? Class 13 instantly clamped their mouths totally shut. Is this instant karma? We just laughed at Isolde, now it is our turn getting roasted. I looked at Isolde, then peeked at Rowena. Thinking back to the events last night, I hesitated slightly. If Isolde teaches me right now, will Rowena get angry? If she gets angry, will she absolutely crush me? She looks so incredibly scary. She must be fierce when mad. If I let Isolde tutor me, will she get extremely jealous? I peeked over. Her face was already dark as the bottom of a wok. Oh no, I am completely finished. She looks furious, but I cannot refuse Isolde. She is way more patient than my system constantly calling me an idiot. When she teaches me, she never scolds me once. Getting her help now is to save Tristan's sister. Surely Rowena can understand a serious situation like that, right? Right. All of Class 13 bugged their eyes out. A massive cascade of question marks popped above them. What is even happening? Did they not say Isolde and Rowena's rumor was fake? Why did Felix change his tune? Oh my gosh, did we accidentally stumble onto an earth-shattering secret? Are we going to be silenced over this? Seeing Rowena's super dark expression, the entire class instantly and very wisely zipped up. Rowena took long, heavy strides right toward me, terrifying me so much my survival instincts made me shrink back. She furiously furrowed her brows. You completely misunderstood what happened yesterday. Isolde, standing right next to her, just nodded along. Yesterday, that idiot Rowena actually came looking for a fight. I have absolutely zero idea how you misunderstood things completely backwards like that. Looking at these two impossibly stunning beauties in front of me, I did not dare say anything. How is this my fault? Last night it was incredibly clear that Isolde pinned Rowena against the wall. You two almost actually kissed then. Trust me, we are all wondering the exact same thing here. Almost kissed wall pins. What kind of premium drama did everyone totally miss out on last night? Rowena aggressively pursed her lips. You saw wrong. I was about to fight Isolde. I could never in a million lifetimes like that idiot. I already have a fiancé. I will absolutely never betray him in my life. Do you understand, Felix? Let's dive in. Staring into those captivating peach blossom eyes, my heart pounded wildly. I honestly could not handle this overwhelming beauty attack. Isolde noticed my reaction and spoke to me with a voice as gentle as someone coaxing a sweet little kitten. You promised you would protect me for my entire life. I have always remembered that. Looking at poor Isolde, my heart melted a solid 2/3. What exactly do these two want from me? Fine, I believe you. Just stop using sweet honey traps on me. I am a total sucker for pretty girls. I genuinely cannot handle this. Isolde smiled warmly, her eyes sparkling brightly at me. Rowena's peach blossom eyes also curved into happy little crescents, and her whole vibe became so much softer and sweeter. All of Class 13 completely screamed internally, what is happening right now? There are actual living people right here. Stop treating us like totally invisible air. Now here is where the mystery deepens. Meanwhile, inside a dark remote village cellar, a chained girl lay completely still on the freezing floor, her eyes quietly shut. Even with rats crawling around her, she never woke up. It seemed like she had fallen into a truly endless, tragic slumber. Suddenly, a harsh noise shattered the pure silence. The dark space was pierced by a sliver of bright light. A man walked right in. Seeing the girl on the floor, he delivered a few vicious kicks. She did not react. He cursed maliciously. Get up, you brat. The girl very slowly opened her eyes. Seeing the angry person approaching, she shrank back in sheer terror, letting out weak, pathetic pleas for mercy. He violently raised a huge stick, preparing to strike. You feel that too, right? She curled up, bracing for the agonizing pain. But surprisingly, the expected awful agony never actually came. Instead, there was a loud, heavy thud. She tremblingly opened her eyes to see the man sprawled out on the floor. She didn't dare get closer, shrinking further back into the shadows. Right then, an adorable, tiny black cat silently padded inside, walking past the fallen guy straight to her. In its mouth, it carried a piece of bread, gently placing it right in front of her hands. The girl did not dare take it, but staring at that bread, she swallowed hard, looking like she wanted to absolutely devour the entire thing with just her eyes. Seeing this sad sight, the little cat helplessly walked outside. Confirming the cat had gone far away, the girl lunged forward and quickly wolfed down that bread ravenously. You and I just witnessed something wild. The cat watched from the door, relieved. Good thing I arrived in time, or she would have been badly beaten. Let's dive in. If that happened, Master would totally freak out and stop studying completely. This awesome black cat was the system avatar dispatched secretly just to protect our girl. Right when the little cat was sneaking out to find snacks, the loud sound of heavy approaching footsteps forced it to quickly take cover. Peeking out, it watched an old guy, a grumpy woman, and a young man barge inside. Spotting the older man knocked out cold on the floor, the woman instantly rushed over. The second he woke up, she grabbed a huge stick and charged the poor girl. She screamed, "You filthy brat! Seducing my man, I will completely destroy you for this." The girl huddled there, shaking. Now watch closely, because right before that heavy stick could crash down, the younger guy quickly intercepted it. Hey, don't ruin her or her selling price goes way down. Hearing about the money, the woman finally stopped swinging, though she still threw a few harsh, venomous insults before her raging anger slowly faded. She forcefully dragged the dazed guy out, loudly complaining, "If I ever catch you sneaking around here again, you will seriously regret it." The older man stayed totally silent, lowering his head and obediently following behind. Giving the terrified girl one last passing glance, the old man called out, "Let's go!" The young guy instantly followed, but not before shooting her a super creepy, unsettling glare. This made the poor girl shrink back even deeper into the shadows. I know what you're thinking. It gets worse. The closed door suddenly opened again. That creep quietly snuck right back inside, offering a simple steamed bun. "Want to eat," he whispered. She stared directly at the snack, completely frozen in fear. She knew these villains never gave out free food. Since she remained completely motionless, he suddenly reached his hand out, trying to grab her. She instinctively dodged him. A weird flash of regret crossed his eyes. So disappointing, so gorgeous, yet I cannot touch it all. Once you are sold, I will be absolutely loaded. Then why would I ever worry about finding more beautiful girls? Muttering that, he took a huge bite of the bun and shamelessly reached out again, trying to take advantage. Even if I can't get the main course, having a tiny little taste is totally fine. Right as his creepy fingers neared her, the heroic black cat suddenly leaped from the shadows, fiercely scratching his entire face. "You stupid piece of trash!" he angrily roared. "Trust me." Watching him completely fail to catch that lightning fast. "Shadow is pure gold. Let's dive in." The girl stared anxiously at the door, terrified her heroic feline savior would get caught and hurt, but trust me, her panic was completely unnecessary. "Let's dive right in." This little black cat, actually a system avatar, slipping away from normal people is ridiculously easy. While the poor girl spiraled into panic, a dark shadow zoomed inside. It carried a plastic bag right in its mouth, dropping it down and gently nudging it toward her. Inside the bag, just exactly what she needed: 2 warm loaves of bread and fresh mineral water. This time around, she felt absolutely zero fear. Instead, she smiled warmly. With a seriously raspy voice like she had not spoken in years, she squeezed out a quiet thank you. The cat just sat watching peacefully. While eating, she softly petted the feline's back. A beautifully genuine smile finally appeared on her face. Meanwhile, teachers and students walking past Class 13 were utterly mind-blown by the scene unfolding right in front of them. They seriously thought they found the completely wrong floor. A few even assumed they swapped classrooms entirely. After aggressively checking the sign for Class 1113, they peeked inside with massive confusion. Yep, those were really Class 13's chaotic students, and they were actually focusing on studying. Trust me here, this was way scarier than them skipping. Everyone already knows that Class 13 ditching school is basically their daily schedule, but studying? Since the day they joined the academy, nobody has ever witnessed them actually trying hard. Other students, seeing this madness, literally sprinted away in pure panic, terrified of catching whatever weird virus infected them. The teachers were totally freaked out too. They had tried everything imaginable, yet absolutely nothing ever made this class actually focus. Yet today they were actually self-studying. It was insane. Class 13 was completely clueless that their good behavior was currently sending absolute shockwaves across the whole campus. Right now, though, their eyes were glued to textbooks, their ears were totally locked onto my secret inner voice. Why is this math so incredibly difficult anyway? Could we maybe simplify this just a bit? The system replied coldly. Nope, you have to study seriously. Did you miss Alda's expression? She is practically about to pass out from anger. I honestly did not dare look up at Isolde, terrified of seeing that absolute judgment in her eyes. I just grumbled internally to myself. It is not like I want to be completely clueless. This equation is honestly way too tough. Maybe I should just track down the class rep for some help. Just then Isolde finally spoke up. Her voice was surprisingly super gentle. You did great. This step is completely right. Hearing that sweet tone, I looked up completely shocked, seeing her face glowing with pure kindness. Isolde is way too nice. I know what you are thinking. She is so patient, it is officially decided. Isolde is my private tutor forever. Hearing my thoughts, a beautiful smile blossomed on Isolde's face. Meanwhile, Rowena saw this and aggressively attacked her workbook, secretly making a vow to become my backup tutor instead. I celebrated wildly inside my own head. I finally understand. Isolde is an absolute legend. And honestly, I am amazing too for learning it. Watching me shamelessly praise myself, a very faint smile graced Isolde's lips. She just found it ridiculously cute. Rowena immediately boosted her solving speed. I definitely have to beat Isolde. Next time I will tutor him myself. She happily imagined me sweetly praising her genius skills instead. She got so insanely hyped her pen moved like lightning. Meanwhile, I stretched my arms and just completely collapsed. I need a tiny break. I have been totally drained these last few days. I have never worked this intensely in my life. Tristan glanced over his eyes, showing a real flash of sympathy. He fully realized I was going all out for his little sister. He quietly promised himself that once she was found, he would reward me absolutely completely. He silently pulled out a shiny thermos. Inside, a special homemade walnut and black bean energy soup. Walking over so carefully, he dropped the thermos on my desk before turning away quietly. Super curious, I picked the container right up and opened it. Walnut and black bean energy soup. Why hand this over? Does Tristan seriously think my intelligence is that low and needs a massive boost or something? Tristan really wanted to explain himself, but the words simply failed. He just saw how burned out I looked lately bringing family soup to help. Chloe, sitting nearby, totally giggled and leaned right into Tristan's ear to whisper quietly, "I warned you against this. Bringing warm soup into a classroom is super weird. My custom-baked cookies are way better." Tristan was literally about to fire back. "Please do not destroy my sister's hero," but Chloe already grabbed her snacks and headed over. Taking a quick sip of the soup, I was absolutely amazed. This smells fantastic. My poor brain truly feels like it might burst. I seriously need these extra nutrients. Tristan, noticing I actually enjoyed it, finally exhaled in total relief. Isolde threw me a glance, already mentally planning to bring me her soup tomorrow. Rowena, still burying her head in her textbooks, desperately wanting that backup tutor spot, suddenly paused her flying pen upon hearing I liked soup. She muttered, "I can bring that too." Watch what happens next. Stick with me. We are diving into some epic drama. Serafina flashes a super smug smirk, dialing her phone. "Tomorrow I am totally bringing Felix some soup." Chloe stops halfway to my desk holding cookies. Soup and cookies, the absolute ultimate combo, she thinks. Her face completely lights up as she happily skips right toward my desk. I look up from my soup, absolutely stunned to see Chloe just standing right there. I'm frantically thinking to myself, wait, what does she even want from me? Staring at her hands, that horrifying flavor hits my memory. Please don't tell me she brought those nightmare cookies just for me. Chloe flashes a super sweet smile, offering the snacks. "Felix, these are for you. I baked them myself." Staring at the cookies, I nervously gulp. If I say no, will she cry? Chloe just looks totally confused. Why would he even refuse? My cookies are delicious, even my parents praised them. She places the snacks onto my desk. Just try them. I am internally screaming, delicious. Who on earth gave this girl so much confidence? Suddenly the system pops up. Tristan did. My eyes instantly light up like fireworks. Pure drama. What happened? Everyone in class 13 completely perks their ears up. They totally want the tea too. Why are Chloe's cookies absolute garbage, yet she acts so unbelievably confident about them? The system pulls out an ancient poem. Recite this and I will explain. I stomp my feet in absolute pure rage. I've been studying like crazy for days, and you are seriously making me recite poetry again. Do you even have a functioning heart inside there? Nope. I am an AI system. I don't possess human organs. I immediately clamp my mouth completely shut. I really shouldn't waste my breath arguing with a machine. The class nods in deep agreement. This system is truly ice cold. Thank goodness our grades are better than Felix's. Otherwise, we would definitely be bound to this annoying system too. Sacrificing one Felix to save all of class 13, you've worked hard, man. Tomorrow we will absolutely bring you some delicious food. Chloe notices my silence and asks in a super sad tone, "Do you really not like my baking?" Seeing those big tear-filled eyes, my heart instantly melts completely. Darn it, I truly am such a sucker for pretty girls. I simply cannot handle a crying beauty. I have zero choice but to totally sacrifice my taste buds here. All right, fine. Now watch closely. Here is where it gets crazy, right? As my trembling fingers almost touch the cookies, a pale hand violently snatches them away. I look up. It is Tristan. He doesn't just snatch those cookies, he actually grabs Chloe and drags her right away. I look at Tristan smiling happily inside. What a truly incredible guy. May good people experience total peace their entire lives. May good guys naturally give birth to 8 lucky treasures in one go. Tristan's retreating back instantly goes totally stiff, his walking becoming incredibly awkward. 8 treasures. No thanks. He definitely lacks that specific biological function. He fiercely glares at Chloe, who is desperately choking back laughter and abruptly drops her hand entirely. Seeing Tristan absolutely fuming, Chloe instantly clamps her mouth totally shut. Isolde seriously cannot hold back a laugh, staring at me. 8 treasures. You really have a wild talent for coming up with these lines. Rowena just buries her head in her exercises, acting like she's totally deaf to the outside world. But watching Tristan and Chloe walk further and further away, her eyes narrow just a bit. Yeah, those two definitely have some secret situation happening. Rowena and Isolde instantly sit up perfectly straight. Everyone is intensely curious now. What exactly is the situation? You and I definitely want this tea, but suddenly the system pops out. Read this ancient poem first and I'll explain. I glare furiously at the system. You absolute slave driver, every single day it's just study, study, study. Can't you do anything else? The system calmly replies. Then go do your math exercises. I admit total defeat. Left with zero choices. I grab the poem and start reading. But my loud inner voice acts like a demonic incantation drilling directly into the brains of every Class 13 student. Whether I actually memorized it or not, they honestly didn't know. But they definitely memorized it all, just in a highly bizarre way injected right into their brains via my inner voice. I truly am a national treasure, feasting on drama while helping them study, sacrificing one Felix to absolutely save all of Class 13. Putting down the book, I recite it once perfectly for the system. The system quickly judges. Pass. I'm absolutely overjoyed. Awesome. Hurry up and tell me. The system finally reveals the tea. Chloe and Tristan are actually childhood sweethearts. Grew up together. Their parents are also best friends. I nod confidently. I totally know this already. Can't you tell me something I don't know? The system quickly warns. Don't interrupt. We're getting to the good part. I instantly zip my lips, waiting for it to expose the truth. Everyone else holds their breath just like me, stepping much lighter. As you know, Tristan, because he lost his sisters, has always lived in pure, agonizing guilt. His parents don't blame him, but he's heartbroken. So what do you and I make of this tragic twist? Stick with me here. He almost gave up on everything multiple times, but Chloe was always right by his side, pulling him back. Chloe terrified that Tristan would actually fade away, stuck to him like glue every single day. At first he found her so annoying, but eventually accepted her following him everywhere. My eyes sparkled brightly. Pure redemption. I love this trope, but why is Chloe so unbelievably confident her cookies are delicious? Everyone nodded along. We wanted to know too. Tristan and Chloe blushed furiously, trying to stop the system from revealing more, but their friends held them down tight, giving them absolutely zero chance. Someone even teased them. Oh, my childhood sweethearts, such pure redemption literature. Wow, you two should just start dating already. Chloe blushed crimson red. Stop talking. The playful teasing made Chloe blush even harder. For a long while, she could not form a sentence. Tristan, standing beside her, looked just as flustered. He coldly swept his intense gaze across the classroom. Whoever speaks again, do not leave after school. Everyone immediately shook their heads frantically in sheer panic. No need. We have things to do. They wisely shut their mouths. After all, Tristan practiced taekwondo, and they definitely could never beat him in a fight. Chloe embarrassedly buried her face right into her desk. If I had known, I would never have given those cookies to Felix. Now look what happened. Everything is fully exposed. Even the fact that I followed Tristan around like a tail got leaked. Does anyone think I am annoying? Probably not, right? I only did it because it was a good deed to keep Tristan perfectly safe. That is why I stuck with him. Tristan was so annoying back then. I was terrified he would just disappear. Watch closely now. I followed him every single day, and he never gave me a good look. If it were not for saving his life, I would have thrown him so far away. Tristan looked at Chloe, buried in her desk, ears burning red, and could not control himself. The system voice echoed perfectly. Chloe is confident in her cookies. First, because she got lost in the labyrinth of her parents' endless praises. Second, because of Tristan. Every time she made cookies, Tristan would eat every single crumb and praise them for being incredibly delicious. My face naturally broke right into a warm anti-smile. So what exactly caused this guy to lose his sense of taste? Was it love? Everyone nodded. It simply must be love. Normally we see Tristan acting so cold toward Chloe. Turns out it is a deep, secretly hidden love. Tristan and Chloe had faces burning beet red, embarrassed to the point where steam was practically rising straight off their heads. I suddenly thought of a bizarre question. Do not tell me Chloe has never actually tasted them herself? The system shook its head. Never. Every time she finishes baking, she brings them straight to her parents and Tristan. No wonder she feels so confident. Turns out she never ate them herself, surrounded entirely by people praising her. It would be weird if she was not confident. Everyone nodded. No wonder she feels so confident. Chloe, hearing my inner voice and feeling everyone staring, turned to Tristan and angrily demanded, my cookies taste that awful. Why did you not say anything at all? You made me lose so much face. Tristan had utterly sincere eyes. They are delicious. Chloe blanked out, mumbling, liar, they are not delicious. Are they really delicious? You are seeing this too, right? Looking into his sincere eyes, her face turned redder. My inner voice flared up. What are these two doing? The system bluntly exposed them. They are blushing. I cheered happily. Whoa, everyone also chimed in. Whoa! Chloe turned even redder. Tristan was not faring any better either. There were only 3 days left until the big monthly exam. I completely collapsed onto my desk. My whole body felt like its life force got utterly drained. So tired. Why is studying this exhausting? It is way too hard. Someone save me. Why is it so exhausting and difficult? All of class 13 looked at my world-weary expression and could not help but feel sorry for me. So pitiful. Even though you are pitiful, we will still laugh immorally. I slumped on the desk and suddenly heard a noise. I looked up to see Isolde, Rowena, and Serafina standing right in front of me, each of them holding a thermos. I looked at them completely bizarrely. What are you doing? Why are you all holding thermoses? Are you planning to sell me thermoses? Everyone was completely dumbfounded. His brain is truly a magical place. Serafina took the lead, smiling so sweetly. Baby, this is the delicious soup my family chef cooked for you. It is super nutritious. You have been working hard lately. I bugged my eyes out. Huh. Everyone was also shocked. Baby, what is going on? Is there more juicy tea we do not know about? Since when did this nickname progress this fast? Rowena put on a look of sheer disgust. She shoved Serafina and her thermos aside, placing hers on my desk, arrogantly declaring what sincerity is there in soup made by a chef. I made this one myself. I looked at her thermos and swallowed hard. Can I drink her cooking? Trust me, we have to see this. Serafina laughed. Drink mine, the soup from my place. Prepared by a pro chef. It might not be magic, but it is definitely drinkable. Let's dive in. I was totally sold. Safe to drink, perfectly fine by me. Serafina beamed with a huge smile. Drink up, baby Felix. I got instant goosebumps. My parents never even called me that. It sounded completely wild. But honestly, Serafina did not care at all. She slammed her thermos down, shoved Rowena's away, and grinned brightly. But Rowena, she was not about to just sit back. She slammed her own thermos right in front of my face. My fiancé must drink what I made. Yes, my fiancé. I tried so hard to fight the urge to scream, just doing total mental gymnastics to stay perfectly calm. What fiancé? Stop ruining my reputation. Honestly, if I was not 100% sure I would lose, I would have thrown hands right there. Hearing my inner panic, Serafina just laughed even harder, looking completely chill. Baby Felix, drink mine. Rowena completely refused to step aside. No drink mine. Neither of these girls was backing down. They stared right into my soul, yelling together. Drink mine. I just hugged myself, feeling totally weak and helpless. Can I just pass? The whole class chimed in, purely entertained. This is so spicy. We absolutely love watching this. Then the whole class turned to Isolde. She had not spoken yet. What was her big move? But they waited and waited. Isolde did absolutely nothing. Just as everyone gave up and shifted focus back to the Serafina and Rowena showdown, our class rep suddenly walked right over, clutching a thermos. He gently placed it right on my desk. The class rep's eyes actually held a tiny smile. Felix, you have been working so incredibly hard these past few days. As class rep, I see all your effort. Even if you love hitting the books, you still need to get proper rest. Now watch closely, the drama is peaking. Everyone saw the rep join the chaos and got hyped. Wow, so spicy. Anyone else bring soup? I was internally breaking down. Tears almost falling. I do not actually love studying. I am being entirely forced into this. Looking at the class rep smiling so brightly at me, I genuinely felt like something was getting super weird here. He is normally so busy. Why is he squeezing into this drama circle today? But the rep just smiled, saying absolutely nothing. He left his thermos on the desk waiting for me to pick. I stared at the 3 containers, feeling completely lost. Seriously, what is happening right now? A whole mob bringing thermoses and shoving them in my face. What does this even mean? I slowly turned to Isolde. You did not bring one too, did you? Just take it out? Isolde heard my inner panic. A bright smile bloomed on her face, and from behind her back, bam, she produced another thermos. I stared at the 4 thermoses sitting right in front of me, my heart doing cartwheels. Oh my goodness, 4 thermoses already. If I gather 7, can I literally summon a magical wish dragon? I looked around, thinking to myself, Did anyone else bring one? Right on cue, Penelope, Chloe, and Tristan all walked over, each holding a thermos. My desk was now completely overflowing. The last 2 thermoses actually had to go on Orion's desk. Taking in this crazy scene, I was weirdly so happy. You saw that coming, right? I was glowing. We actually gathered exactly 7 thermoses. Can I seriously summon a magical dragon now? The whole class lost their minds. This is incredible. If I had known, I would have totally brought soup too. I turned to Orion, feeling pretty bad about hijacking his desk space, but Orion's eyes were sparkling. He was secretly thrilled. Who cares about desk space? Sitting next to Felix is the absolute best thing ever. I get a VIP front row seat to all this drama. Sure, he is a bit loud sometimes, but feasting on this gossip makes it totally worth it. I am never ever leaving his side. Do not even try stealing my VIP seat. Meanwhile, I was completely clueless about Orion's wild and complex inner thoughts. Staring at the 7 classmates in front of me, I just awkwardly scratched my head. Am I actually this close with them? Why bring me soup? I never even asked for soup. Do they have some kind of secret agenda? Scared I was overthinking it. Serafina quickly stepped right up. I like you. My dad said when he courted my great-grandpa, he cooked soup for him every single day. Just try it. It is super delicious. I smiled awkwardly. I really do not want to. The exact tricks your dad used for romance, using them on me feels just a little bit inappropriate. No, it is not. Serafina grinned. As long as it works, that is all that matters. I had zero choice. I forced a polite smile. Thank you. Then I turned to the crowd. And the rest of you, Rowena's face immediately flushed bright red. You are my fiancé. Of course I have to treat you incredibly well. Seeing her blushing face, I practically collapsed on the inside. Why are you blushing? What fiancé? I literally told you I am not. Why is this school tyrant being so incredibly stubborn? And that is where we pause. Rowena felt a tiny ping of sadness but quickly rallied. Telling herself Felix simply forgot. You and I know he will regret this. Picturing me regaining my memories, sobbing and acting adorable in her arms, she instantly boosted her own mood. Rowena grinned like a total goofball. Just drink up. It is delicious. Why are you grinning like that? Why does that smile look so silly? Her cool persona is totally shattered. Rowena did not care about my complaints at all. Before I could even utter a word, the class representative spoke up. As the class representative, looking out for my classmates' well-being is my duty. Wow, that sounds incredibly awkward. If you genuinely care about our health, shouldn't the rest of us get a portion too? Everyone nodded in agreement. Hey, class rep, where is ours? Seriously, where is our soup? The class representative just pushed his glasses up, totally ignoring everyone's endless questions. Felix has been working way too hard lately. This soup was specially made to boost his energy. Everyone grumbled in their heads. Oh, so it is because we have not studied hard enough. That is why we are not worthy of soup. Next time we will study super hard and see what wild excuse he makes up. Looking at the class representative's genuine expression, I hesitantly trusted him just this once. He honestly does not look like a liar. Fine, I will trust him this time. The class representative instantly beamed with joy, but every other person's smile quickly vanished. Watch closely here because everyone suddenly turned to Isolde. Now it is her moment to shine, right? Even I stared at her. Isolde's cheeks turned a bright, adorable pink. This is the sweet soup you loved most when we were little. You have been studying so hard lately. I brought this to restore your energy right after you finish drinking it. I will help you with yesterday's exam questions. Hearing sweet soup, my eyes practically sparkled. I looked at Isolde with so much more warmth. She is truly an angel. Teacher Isolde completely understands me. Sweet soup is my absolute favorite, especially the kind her family's Auntie Lee makes. I wonder if she cooked this exact bowl. Isolde broke into a beautiful, knowing smile. It was actually made by Auntie Lee. Hearing that, my eyes shined like giant spotlights. Thank you so much, I genuinely appreciate it. Her voice felt incredibly gentle. There is no need to thank me. Seeing this sweet moment, the others' expressions instantly turned sour. We completely missed our chance. No wonder Isolde acted so confident. She literally brought professional backup. Serafina shot Rowena a fierce glare, silently asking a huge question. Did you not say you planned to marry Felix in the future? How do you not even know what he likes? Rowena's expression darkened completely. She never expected Isolde to pull such a cunning move. Everyone grumbled internally. So this is the legendary childhood sweetheart, just opening her mouth and instantly targeting his biggest weakness. The class representative watched us, his face still holding a very faint smile. But that smile lost its usual gentle warmth, replaced by a totally bizarre and intense vibe. "You caught that too, right?" Penelope suddenly asked why everyone brought soup, instantly drawing my attention back to him. I turned to Penelope. "Why did you bring soup?" Her face instantly turned the color of a tomato. She had absolutely no clue how to respond. What could she even say? Admit that my broadcasted inner thoughts saved her entire family from a totally catastrophic financial disaster. She obviously could not say that out loud. After stammering awkwardly for a while, she blurted out, "Your skin is so pale. What skincare products do you use?" My eyes popped out. What on earth kind of question is that? Everyone else was completely confused too. Skincare? I stared right at Penelope as if she had just sprouted a second head. I am a high school guy tortured by math daily. My skincare routine is washing my face with tap water in pure despair. The entirety of Class 13 nearly collapsed from collective exasperation. Penelope's face was so red it practically rivaled a traffic light. She awkwardly slammed the thermos onto my desk. "Just drink it. It is great for your brain." Before I could even protest, the study system's voice echoed with that familiar smugness. "Let me explain why she is acting like a broken robot. A few days ago, you were mentally ranting about a news article exposing a massive real estate scam. Penelope's dad was literally holding a pen about to sign a contract with that exact fraudulent company. Hearing your broadcasted thoughts, she panicked, called her dad, and faked a terrible stomachache to stop him. She totally saved her family from bankruptcy." My eyes went wide with sudden realization. "Oh wow, I am basically her family's guardian angel." Penelope frantically looked away, pretending to study the ceiling, but that bright, grateful flush on her cheeks honestly said it all. I looked at the giant mountain of thermoses on my desk. 7 thermoses. If I drank all of this, I would not need to study. I would simply drown. But feeling those intense, burning glares from Serafina, Rowena, Isolde, and the class representative, I knew my survival was at stake. I will take a sip of everything I announced like a hero, sacrificing my poor stomach for absolute world peace. But trust me, we both know I grabbed Isolde's sweet soup first, chugging half instantly. Auntie Lee's sweet soup is still totally the best. Isolde smiled with eyes like beautiful crescents radiating gentle victory. Rowena shot daggers at the empty bowl, silently swearing to capture Auntie Lee and demand that amazing secret recipe. Stick with me. This was just the calm before the storm. With 3 days until the monthly test, Class 13 went from notorious daily troublemakers into a totally hardcore militarized academic enforcement squad. Their ultimate mission was jumping 100 ranks. The target, me. Felix, wake up, time for English vocabulary. Rowena slammed a huge textbook onto my desk. Her fierce school tyrant aura was entirely focused on English grammar. "Felix, let's review this geometric proof," Isolde whispered softly, but her tight grip on my shoulder felt incredibly terrifying. "Felix, I gathered a list of the 50 most likely history test questions, Caspian," the class rep added, pushing his gold-rimmed glasses up his nose with a glaring look of absolute, undeniable authority. Even Serafina hired 3 Ivy League tutors to build a customized crash course cheat sheet for me. For 3 entire days and 3 nights, I survived a literal waking nightmare. If I even blinked too slowly, Tristan would instantly appear out of nowhere, offering black coffee, staring at me with eyes packed with such desperate hope that feeling guilty for simply breathing was absolutely unavoidable. Honestly, I was a tired donkey on a treadmill, and the only carrot dangling ahead was the precious survival of Tristan's kidnapped little sister. Master is studying voluntarily without me forcing any electric shock punishments. I am just so deeply touched. The system dramatically sniffled inside my mind. "Shut up, I am doing this to save a life, not because I love your terrible equations," I screamed internally, my brain completely melting into a mush of formulas and historical dates. Now watch closely. When exam day finally arrived, Class 13 was intensely serious. As the strict teacher passed out the papers, I looked around. For the very first time ever, 0 students in Class 13 were caught sleeping. Everyone sat perfectly upright, gripping their test pens just like legendary swords. They were not trying to earn good grades for themselves. They were actually trying to perfectly calculate their personal scores, to purposefully rank just right below me, guaranteeing I had a massive chance of jumping up that leaderboard. I looked at the math test. These numbers usually looked like ancient hieroglyphics trying to curse my family. But today they actually looked strangely familiar. Isolde taught me this exact math formula. I realized my pen striking the paper. Rowena forced me to rewrite this proof 20 times until my hand cramped. For 2 straight hours, I fought the absolute hardest academic battle ever. You and I felt that exhaustion. I collapsed when the final bell rang. The grading system was unbelievably fast. 3 days later, the ranking board appeared in the main hall. The entirety of Class 13 completely surrounded it, shoving aside all those terrified students from the top honors classes. "Where is he? Where is Felix?" Chloe yelled, scanning quickly from the bottom up. Here Orion shouted, pointing a trembling finger at the board's middle. "Felix Sue, rank 412. My previous rank was 513. I jumped exactly 101 ranks. The hallway erupted. Class 13 wildly cheered like we just won the World Cup. Rowena punched the wall in pure excitement, leaving a slight dent. Serafina hugged Isolde before quickly pushing her away in complete fake disgust, and the class rep shared a rare, genuinely happy laugh. But Tristan remained totally still. He slowly turned to face me, his eyes completely red, his body trembling so violently he looked just like a leaf trapped in a hurricane. I wasted no time. I closed my eyes and yelled internally, "System-wide did it, 101 ranks. Tell me exactly where she is." The system's voice dropped its normally playful tone. It sounded incredibly serious, almost solemn. "Coordinates locked. She is in an underground cellar at the abandoned nameless village 300 meters southwest of the city. A mysterious black cat is currently guarding her. Tell Tristan's family to bring the police immediately. The dangerous traffickers are planning to move her tonight. I did not even bother translating anything. Because of my broadcast, Tristan heard every single word directly inside his mind. Nameless village!" Tristan choked out a deep sob. He never said thank you. There were no words heavy enough for this emotional moment. He simply turned around and bolted down the hallway, whipping out his phone to call his father. Chloe sprinted right after him. The rest of Class 13 stood in the hallway, panting, a profound sense of exhaustion and epic triumph washing over us. "We finally did it," Isolde whispered softly, looking at me with a sweet expression that made my heart skip a dangerous beat. "Of course we did," Rowena smirked, crossing her arms. "My fiancé is an absolute genius when he actually tries." "Hey, still not your fiancé," I groaned, burying my face inside my hands. 2 days later, the massive news broke. A major human trafficking ring was busted inside a remote village. The heiress of the Vance family had finally been safely rescued. And trust me, you will love this part. Police breached the cellar and found traffickers covered in brutal scratches thanks to a mysterious black cat that vanished into the night. Tristan actually skipped school for an entire week. He stayed at the hospital right by his sister. But he still managed to send a giant truck straight to the school gates. It was packed with premium snacks, high-end gaming consoles, and a solid gold plaque reading, "To Felix, the ultimate savior of our family." Let me tell you, I became an absolute legend across the entire school. But stick with me here if you think I finally got to live a peaceful, lazy life snacking away. You are completely mistaken. Felix Serafina aggressively slammed a flyer right onto my desk. "My dad booked a private island for the summer. You are coming with me." "He is not going anywhere." Rowena instantly intervened and grabbed my left arm. "We have a martial arts camp. I am teaching him real self-defense." Actually, the class rep smiled, teleporting behind me like a literal ghost and grabbing my shoulder. Felix already signed up for the advanced debate team with me. "Now pay attention here. You are all totally wrong," Isolde said, gently dropping a massive stack of textbooks on my desk, leaving absolutely zero room for debate. "Felix is coming straight to my house. We need to start preparing for the next big exam." I just looked at the 4 of them, feeling the absolutely terrifying weight of their affection. Then the ultimate nail in the coffin echoed loudly in my head. "Excellent work, Master," the crazy study system purred maliciously. "You proved your potential, so I upgraded your target. Jumping 100 ranks is just not enough anymore. You are going to want to hear this. To unlock new premium drama, I must reach the top 10 overall." I just stared blankly at the board. My classmates were completely crazy. My system was a demonic boss, and mathematics was still undeniably the absolute root of all evil. "I really just want to be a lazy bum," I desperately whispered to the heavens. But as Isolde opened the math textbook and Class 13 leaned in to eagerly eavesdrop on whatever chaotic thought crossed my mind next, I finally knew one thing for sure. My ordinary high school life was permanently gone, but honestly, you and I know it was not terrible.